Morning, everyone. Morning. Hope you're doing good. Happy Monday. Welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. Got off the screens, did something fun, relaxed a little bit. All right, ready for the week ahead. Here we go then. Starting off a new week, as we always do. Going to go through our process. So weekly bar, you can see here we're holding current year. This is 2026 value. All right, we're holding value. We're building out a rather big node up here above current value area high, and we're holding the 50-day, right, which we retested last Friday. Found a bid off the 50-day, coming back to 520 is the mean here at the moment, and we'll just have to see. You can see we're just in balance here. No acceptance below, no acceptance above. We've now spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is week number 8 in this range. Okay, so originally we had expansion, pullback. We were looking for more upside. All right, failed the upside with the island gap, came back down, failed to break lower. This is now confirmation of range. If we move to the daily, all right, you can see that we're hugging that value and we're just stuck right now. All right, so 5-day recently crossed the 20, 50 days here. We're going to get very tight in here, I'd imagine, with the convergence of all these EMAs. These are high time frame EMAs. These will matter. All right, what we're watching here is rotations, all right, certainly rotations within this range here versus this LVN, so 30,050 down to sort of lows of last week. All right, those are strong rotation levels. That gives you some decent room to play with there, a couple 100 points to play with there of rotation. Look below and fails, look above and fails, or build out liquidity and finally flush, or build out liquidity and finally bid up. All right, so really you're watching the edges here, 30,050 down to sort of 29,150. That's kind of your main rotation part that we're watching right now. If you watch my video from the weekend that I put out yesterday, you will know this is not my kind of market. All right, I've made peace with that. I understand that. I've been pushing hard in this market here and even here, but here, now we're doing this dance. This is time for Alex to size down, relax a little bit, take stock of how great a year it's been, and just wait. Base hit mentality now. All right, hourly charts. We'll have a quick look at the volume here. You can see where we've done this dance last week and where we are today. All right, so last week for hours and hours and hours on end, we chopped in here before failing to break lower on a reclaim, pump up, held the top side, came to supply, failed straight back down, came back in, chopped the same area, failed straight back down, held a higher low here, shorts got trapped, and again, and now we're grinding right back up from Sunday into Monday to this same level. All right, this is a giant magnet up here, folks. There's a reason we can't get away from it either side. All right, this is the magnet zone. All right, if you want to dance in there, by all means go for it. I won't be. All right, this is I'll take all your money zone in my mind. So I want to be very, very careful in here. Edges are what we're going to pay. The extreme edge from last week is here, and if they break out, all the way up here. So, you know, the market actually looks pretty decent this morning. We'll go through the sectors shortly. It looks pretty decent in mag land and software land. So we'll see if they can hold the bid. You can see we're failing previous week point of control. So really the early options here, if you are going to play it, would be acceptance above previous week point of control to come and test previous week value area high. Otherwise, up here, a look above and fail, or a push into it and fail, back down to previous day's value area high. They can rotate in here a little bit if they want. If they fail previous day's value area high, then very simply you're looking for that next move down to previous day's point of control and possibly previous day's value area low. All right, so that would give you one of these, all right, down into here, giving you some room for that rotation, right, down into this node here. And if they lose that, previous week's value area low. But really, we're stuck inside previous week. All right, you can see there's previous week. We're stuck inside it and we're at the high volume node. All right, so it's all about, do we see rejection here for downside pressure, or do they reclaim to go upside? I don't know, but what I do know is I don't want to be really taking a new position in that grey box. That's asking for it because it's not a directional bias. If we have a quick look at the GEX, all right, they have put the big call wall all the way up here, which is up towards previous week's value. All right, so it really depends. This is volume since Sunday, by the way, if you're wondering what it is. Okay, so you can see so far overnight we've been pretty pinned in between previous week point of control and previous day value area high. We've built out point of control overnight session there. Right, this is your pin right now coming into the New York Open. Right, this is where we've chopped for a while. It's where we're going to continue to chop. If we find acceptance under this, like I said, you can look for that dance. If they find acceptance over it, maybe you get the cool wall one. You can always look for fail break, reclaim, as those are probably going to be the easier trades today, fail breaks. Right, and ideally, I would say you'd like to see, if you are bullish based on the rotation, you'd prefer to see something like that today. Right, that's going to probably be the easier move today if they offer it. We don't know if they're going to offer it. We don't know what they're going to do with the bid here at the Open, unfortunately. We're just going to have to wait and see. So let's go through those sectors now and the other indexes. Move to a 5 minute here. Right, starting off on the ES. Right, block to block, box to box even, block to block, same but different. All right, so overnight, same kind of story. All right, Friday failed to break lower. All right, gap up, held the gap, drift higher, hold this chop zone, and slow chop higher to where we last got stuck. All right, and maybe they pull this back down into here now and just bounce between here. Again, not the most favorable condition here to be trading, I would say. So if you are bullish today, you would need this to hold, yeah, around the 35 or 35 for that rotation back up. Your targets would be your current zone where we're going to open, and then 490. If they fail 435, then again, you start sliding into these blocks down here. I'm going to have to shift some of these over on. Let's just repaint these. Now we flip them. There we go. All right, spiders. Same story. It's got to be an awful dark pool print there. Hopefully they get rid of that. That looks terrible. And yeah, same story here. So they're trying to base above here. That's what I mean. It actually looks pretty good. They're trying to base above here on the SPY. If they can hold dips this morning above this cool wall and flip this cool wall, which they have those so far, you're looking for a drive up to 740. All right, so if they hold 735 this morning on the spiders, I'd say there's 5 points there to be had. You know, if they break 740 all the way up here, but you know, again, like I said in the video, if you're going to play this, right, you want to be locking in profits early in this market. You do not want to be thinking we're going to get full TPs. We lose 735, then you know we're coming back down inside range. All right, Qs, same kind of thing. We flip these. You can see again gapping up on the Qs. Delete him altogether. All right, and the question really is, can they hold this W? All right, fail to break lower. Can they hold this to get you that move to 720? So that's what I'd be watching. Even a little dunk under. That's probably, like I said, on QQQ and NQ, it's probably going to be the easiest move. If they reprice a bit and hold, that would be the cleanest one. Now, what we need to watch for this, as always, are the other indexes. So starting off in semis, I just want you to see this. Semis are gapping up and giving back, right? They had relative weakness at the back end of last week, all right? So while we started to see this on Thursday and Friday, we started to see the MAG go upside, all right? So we're rotating, taking profits out of semiconductors at the moment, and we're rotating into the MAG, and there you go, into software, all right? So if software caught a bid on Friday, worth noting. It is worth noting the rotation starting to take place. This is going to make trading very, very difficult for directional bias, right? We get more directional bias when they all go together. I think there's a chance we chop for a while in this market. So I want to see if semis can come back and hold these kind of moves into 87 and 88s and produce a higher low there to then move higher. The reason I'm looking for that is mainly for swing positions, all right? In all the software names, this is what I'm looking at. Now we have weakness in some of these software names like Oracle, so we'll see. We'll pick and choose which ones, but we can get long in. But let's have a look if we're ready to start going there in software, right? The other ones I want to look at is obviously the MAGs and the VIX. Now VIX is coming downside, all right, so lower volatility. This is bullish for the market if we keep drifting lower here. But the MAG, this is where the interest starts, all right? So we're bid up here on Friday, and opening today, I would say probably on 50% of that big 6% down day that we had. Yeah, opening around the 50%, 61 fibs. So it all depends here on Apple if they are intending to squeeze this back up and fill this. I would doubt it. All right, so there's got a cool wall here. So we'll see if Apple comes back in today and then holds 80s. All right, but gapping up there, showing the first sign of strength in the mag. There's the gap. It's a decent sized gap there. Amazon, same story. All right, getting absolutely nuked Wednesday, Thursday last week. Friday caught a bid. Today we gap up and open up inside, and we'll see if we can push out here a bit and maybe even test that. So bullish on Amazon as well here. Pullbacks looking for that basically. Goog, all right, weak compared to the others, chopping in a range. All right, sideways here. All right, very much like semiconductor land right now. No one's looking at Google at the moment. Meta, there's the rally back. Okay, Friday and gap up. All right, same story. You're seeing the rotation out of semis into some of these names. All right, so we're pinned in here. We're going to see if Meta can find acceptance up inside 560 for a drive to 570. If it can't, we're coming back to 550s. Let's see if they can produce a higher low and then go for it. If they can't, then it's a two leg and the fail will be at 50s for that wash down for a new low. So eyes on that this week in terms of swing positions to see what we get. Microsoft, big shove back inside. All right, look at that. Big shove up. So sold off last week, drip. Huge reaction on Friday and we gap up again and you can see where they're trying to come if we zoom out of this. Right, we are long in some of this. I want to see pullbacks now. I mean, this thing's way too cheap, but I want to see pullbacks hold so I can add into the position. I want to target up here 402s. And then if we can find acceptance, if they're willing to really bid this, if we're willing to hold 70s or above and we can find acceptance back above 400, so I'll be long here and I'll be adding once and if we find acceptance back above 400 as well. But we'll see, just one day at a time here. We might be setting up for some of those rotations that we talked about. Nvidia, all right, chopping around with semiconductors, and this hasn't been a leader in that pack for a while. We have lost the bid at some key levels. Crucially, we're underneath 200. We're back into where we did that dance earlier this year. All right, so if they can't hold the pullbacks, they are in danger of coming right back down to the underside of this. Just understand that. That's a possibility. Tesla, big reaction as well. All right, after last week's drift lower, there you go. Friday, huge reaction, held the bid, gapping up inside Friday's range. So we're just pinned in that. But if they hold dips, you're looking for upside relief. If they can't hold 77s, probably fill some of this in because that looks pretty thin to me. All right, folks. That is you guys prepared. Hopefully you understand that the rotations are starting to take place from sector to sector and even within sector. If you want to have a look at NVIDIA and then have a look at MU, you'll see it. You will absolutely see it. Right, so we're C today. We're already failing previous week point of control now and back inside previous day's value. So if they can't reclaim here, right, if they cannot reclaim here, then this will happen and possibly this if they're weak. Otherwise, you know, something like this would be potentially tradable, but we're just going to have to see. I mean, this is a very choppy rotational market. I would highly advise you just take your size down and reassess. If you've been like me and you've been pushing hard, certainly the last 3 months because the market's been there for it, fantastic. We're not in that market right now. Understand that the market has shifted, right? It is notably shifted. The narrative has shifted. We are starting to chop and go sideways. Respect it, all right? Respect what we have in front of us. Don't start guessing. Don't start pushing size when your A+ isn't there. If your A+ is there, these rotational conditions are what you like, you know, this is your chance. This is your chance to really compound your gains. This is your market. This isn't my market, all right? I'm being honest with you. I have to adapt. Huge meltdown on MQ. I mean, it's 100 points. I wouldn't call it a huge meltdown in this market. We're just going to chop, all right? This market can push and pull 300-400 points easily right now. Yeah, software coming back into VWAP pre-market. Semis on the downside, closing their gap right now. And we'll see here, folks. We're 12 seconds away, so good luck. So it's up to you what you're looking for. If you're looking for the failures of value, you're going to look for that rotation. If you're looking for the squeeze back up, you want them to hold value and squeeze it all the way back upside if they're going to do that. Software coming under VWAP, finding a bid for now. Now flushing back under VWAP. Very choppy here on some of these names. Early morning, we're just going to have to see what they're going to do with it. So value rotation right now, losing previous day's value, back down to previous day's point of control. If they lose that, they'll come all the way back down to previous day's value area low. Here's previous day's point of control. So if you took that flush, if you took the rotation, this is your TP1. I would not hold too much size, expecting full rotation in this market. Like I said, see money, take money. My value is based on ETH. Yes, for previous day it is. Not for previous week, but for previous day, I'm only interested in ETH. I'm interested where cash plays, as with everything. All right, so there's your TP1 basically hit, and I instantly caught a bid. I can move this up a bit because, again, we have divergence to NQ, to Ninja Trader. Fun. And we're ping-ponging in previous day's value here. So software getting absolutely slammed at the open, VIX gapping up now. Q's trying to hold their RBS pivot here back through the New York Open. Now, if they reclaim here, they're going to go and try and reclaim the auction at the high at 740s. So there's your reclaim of values. There's the ping pong. Like I said, you want to lock in profits. Now, if they hold this pullback into here, they will try and complete this move here. If they lose this, then they'll wash right back down. All right, this is the chop that I've warned you of. You can already see it today. Look at this range. It's decent range in the first 2 minutes, and it's choppy. All right, that pullback held. Let's see if we can get long back up now. Here we go. All right, and then we have an unfinished auction up here at 26s if we get lucky. ES finding a bid as well, coming back towards its highs. Let's see. I'm going to take some profit here. I'm long on this pullback and see if we can take profits here into 26, 27s. That's where it's an unfinished auction. Here we go. Can we complete this move for me? Yes, there we go. That's the auction finished. So I've taken some more profit there. Right, as we clean that out, and then we're going to come back into previous weak point control. If we find acceptance through that, we can get squeezing. I don't know if we'll find acceptance through that, folks. So I'm locking in most of my money here, changing my mentality. If you asked me a week ago, I'd be holding more for a bigger squeeze, but there's a buyer caught at the highs there, and there's the reaction. So if we can't get through this, I'm going to be done with it. We held the pullback. We squeezed up. All dips would now have to hold 680s. Tiny size left, but we've completed this auction. More buyers caught at these highs. We're probably going to chop right back down to 680s now. If we can't squeeze right here, right now, I'm going to be done with the whole thing. Here we go. I'm going to try. Can you squeeze any more? Lots of buyers up here, folks. They might get caught here soon. Just warning you. Lots of buyers up here that might get caught soon. ES new high. That looks good. QQQ's trying. SPY stuck in a bit of supply here. ES not quite to target. Semiconductors has found a bid after closing the gap. Software's trying to get going here as well. VIX got crushed back in. Lots of buyers caught up here, so it all depends if they can extend this at range anymore. Got a tiny piece left, and that's it. Still failing previous weak point of control here. They cannot get through it. Let's get some volume on here before I forget. Sorry, folks. Here we go. Can we squeeze a little bit? Can we squeeze a bit more? Can we get going here? So next target would be up here, 780s, and then all the way up here, 880s if they really want to go. Nice. Let's go. It's not a bad morning to start. Better than I thought. Well, the plan worked. What do we say? Come under here, reclaim this. If you go back to pre-market analysis, come under here, reclaim this. We can try and get long, targeting back to here. This is exactly what we're doing. And we'll just see now if they can really get going. Then they've put some levels in this red box above. But this grey box is your thick node. So they'd have to find acceptance over this. All dips now need to hold 25s, folks. You don't want it under 25s, otherwise you're going to have a lot of buyers very, very, very stuck. All right, just so you know. Here it comes. So I'll be cutting this at 25s. It comes back under that. Software coming back in. Want to be careful here as they churn and churn and churn. All right, so semis are now starting to bid. Software's coming back in. The VIXs come back in. Mentality, size down, lock in profits. Again, if we come under 25 here, I'm done. We have to hold this low volume node for me. Otherwise, I can see this rotating all the way back down to sort of 650 again. They're trying to bid it, and they're trying to hold these buyers in place. Good so far. Good hold of 25 so far. Just about and out. There we go. I'm done with it. So I'm not going to hold through this because they can flush the whole thing back down now if they want to. Sorry with a little cough this morning. Here they come, all the way back down. So there's a good cut there. And this is what we just called. If they can't hold it, lots of buyers trapped up there can get liquidated. All right, back down to previous day value area high. So buyers need to protect this now if they're unable to do this. Again, we go back inside of yesterday's value and rotate. All right, you can see it's just a washy market right now. Worth to buy Oracle. I mean, it's cheap, but they don't like the debt. And I've talked about that for many months in Discord. The debt attached to it, they do not like. We're not going to know how that pans out for a while. A lot of these companies seem like they've been hammered software side, but we just won't know. Okay, back to yesterday's value now. If they can bid this, maybe they hold for the same play back up. If they lose yesterday's value, then we're going to come back to point of control again. So yesterday's value is right here. And then all the way down here, maybe gap fill. It was a good first play. Locked in a bit of money there, and now we wait. They're trying to bid. VIX is starting to bid up as well here. It's a little bit scary, this market rotating the way it is. Can you see the choppiness, folks? Can you see why I'm saying size down today? Lock in profits early. Don't be trying to look for big trend kind of plays. You're not going to get them. They don't exist in this market right now. It's a good hold of value so far. It's a bit of buyer exhaustion up here, so we might see some follow through downside attempted soon versus this little low volume node. I'll prosper in my head this morning. Okay, software starting to push. New high of day on software. Semi's coming right back down and in. VIX chopping around. All right, here's the loss of previous day's value. All right, we can go right back to the lows now if they stay heavy versus value. So like I said, that buyer exhaustion showing up. Now, if they reject 660s here, you're going to see downside pressure. If they reclaim it, they're going to go back to that node. Very choppy here. 660s test. If they reclaim this, they're going to go 700s. If they reject here, they're going to try and get to low of day under New York Open. It's super choppy. Surprise, surprise. Who'd have guessed it was going to be awful action this week? I don't know. Someone smart. Back we go again. All right, back to 700 like we said. So they reclaimed 66s, back to 700s. 700s low volume node here. Semiconductors continue to try and push higher at the moment. VIX continuing to chop, and software getting the push higher. Semis getting the rotation back to PDC at the moment. Magland all looks pretty good for now. All right, there's a 700 rejection back into 680s. Buyers want to protect 680s to 660s right now. Semi's now trying to catch a bid at PDC. This is just terrible. It's exactly what we thought would happen, and it's exactly what's happening. All right, back to previous week point of control. Can they get back through this grey box and look for the upside? We're back above value, or are we going to just fail point of control again for the millionth time? Probably. Lots of liquidity up here to fill into 70s and 80s. This is where the buyers got caught this morning. Where we are right now. This is where the buyers got exhausted and caught out this morning. Here's value area high for the current session. So buyers are going to try and push value higher if they can hold and find acceptance up here at the moment. There is liquidity to fill up to 80. There's a strong rejection on that first move up towards that liquidity at 80. And buyers will need to protect 700 now. And if they can't protect 700, they wash right back down to this, and we're just going to keep doing this back. And look at this big D shape being formed already. That's your warning cycle. Look at this. It's ugly. Look at what you're seeing, broader market. Look at the semis chopping around at PDC. Look at software pushing up. Look at the mag looking much better than the rest of the market. All right, equal weighted mag, 2% up right now. Right, equal weighted mag, 2% up right now. All of mag 7 green. We're just churning. Buy software, buy mag, sell semis. Buy semis, sell software. Sell software, buy mag. Sell mag, buy semis. Churn, churn, churn. We're going to keep doing this washing machine cycle, and it can last, I'm warning you, it can last months. Back to previous week point of control. Can't get through it. Can't poke up and fill this liquidity at 80s right now. Stuck here again. If they sit stuck here again, they flush right back down to 680s again. It's gross out here. It's gross out here. I hope you're being very patient. I hope you're waiting for edges. They want to fill this liquidity at 780 at the moment. That's what they're trying to do. 780 to 800. Janky book. Looks awful. Right, here they go. So here's the move towards 780. They're attempting. SPY looking for a new high day. Semis rejecting. Is that the 50-day there? What are you? Yeah, semis reject. Sorry, software rejecting 50-day there. I've got to change the order of this. I keep thinking it's semiconductors. It's not. VIX down to its 20-day. Okay, buyers trying to take control here around previous week point of control, current day point of control. If they find acceptance through this, they have the chance to lift up here. All right, this is a big node here, and they're going to keep rotating this until they've got enough caught. All right, and they're trying to get to 780, and if they can hold then the bid, they'll look for this move. It's a big ask, but that's what they're trying to do at the moment. You can see it on the book, trying to build for it, but I think they chop in here for a while and then make the decision. Software just got absolutely slammed off that 50-day. They said, no, you ain't coming through here, mate. Still liquidity up here to 780. So 770 to 780, there's a block sat there waiting to get filled. And then above that, 800. They haven't made it into that 780 block. They're trying. There's a zero print. Here they come. There's a 780 filled. Now, if they can hold the bid up here, they will look for the squeeze to 800 and then the start of this supply, 850. All right, so we'll see now if they can hold this bid for a squeeze up to get involved in. Here's 800. 150 lot here, 50 lot above them. So 200 lots here to get filled into around 800. So like I said, if you're long in this for the whole of previous week, you better be locking in some profits. Do not expect it. I think it wants to come up here, but don't bank on it, all right? What you need to be doing is taking your base hits in this market. This is not like the market we've traded together the last 3 months. You want to be locking in. VIX getting crushed. So you want all dips now to hold 60s. 60s to 20s need to hold on dips. Here's the acceleration. Hopefully you get this red blocking up here, and then we can start thinking about this upside auction all the way to previous week, right? Let's just call it 900 to 950 is probably the max move today. We don't expect more than that right now. So I'm thinking we probably see failures up here unless they really accelerate through and flip this whole zone. So you want to be locking in. ES coming into its cool wall as well. So 490s on ES, you want to be paying yourself here. You are getting into some of these big levels. You want to be paying yourself here. Another big buy coming in here, 157 lot at 80s. Sorry, at 800s. Right, so if they lose him, they're going to come and retest 67s, maybe even all the way down to 40s. You have to be locking in. Cannot say it enough. This is not a market to be looking for trend continuation. This is a market for base hits. Now the hold here has to be value, right? They have to hold. Buyers, if you're going to see this next move up, God, can I draw it? You need to see this. If they can't hold and reclaim this, right? If they can't hold this and reclaim this, you want to be done because they'll rotate this whole D shape again. Tell you what I'm not seeing today that we saw Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week is that buy algo. I'm not seeing them hold and then go. He's not been here today. Not yet anyway. Just so that we know. So if that was the rebalancing algo, he might have been done last week. Right, that's a good hold, good reclaim. Let's see if we can get long now for this push. So I want dips into around 800, see if they can willing to hold this now. See if we can feather in between 800 and 80s for a continuation. Now that we flip that grey block, looking for extension up to reds. I'm starting to add into this now, small size. A good absorption on this low down here. Very, very good. I think we will accelerate out of this now. And I'll be locking in profits. I'm just going to scout my way through this. Can we get a new high here, please? Beautiful. Come on, a bit more. 830 and 850 on the book. There's some absorption up here by sellers. Be careful. Someone's reloaded a few times, sell side. Back to this opening range. I want to get through this absorption up here top side, otherwise we're going to flush back down. Can we fill these guys into 50s? One little push is all I'm looking for. More absorption up here, need to be careful. Book's gone quiet, I don't like that. Can we squeeze please, folks? Can we come up to 850 and I can be done with my size? Come on, there you go. Come on, market, new high here. Good, 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 good. Be careful here. This is where they keep absorbing up here into 20s. I think we will get through him, but there is definitely a passive player here absorbing around 20s. Once he's moved, I think we'll get that push to the red box. But you want to be locking in because he's definitely here on the tape. It's interesting. The way the book look buy side looks sell side now. The way they look, the algo kind of coming in that we talked about last week, chasing up. And we've got it sell side here on this edge at 800. And just be aware of that. All right, I'm out of this now. I can always get back in. Good absorption up there from them. And then they chased it down, like I said. Buyers are trying to defend 50s to 30s. I don't like that. It's too low. It's back in the midpoint of the range. So I'm going to wait for an extreme now, because otherwise we can do what we're doing now, which is come right the way back down. So absorption at the highs, didn't quite get to final target. Letting go into this big, thick node here being developed again. yeah, no buyers stepping up, pushing up like last week. More chop now. They're done with it for a moment. They're going to chop again for a while now. Check the alignment here. VIX finding a bid off 20-day coming upside. Tech trying to get back through that 50-day. Semis still just holding around that PDC. It's literally not moved all morning off PDC. It's stuck. And 2.5% up in Magland. The chop continues. My bias technically is to come and complete this move up here, and then up here probably see failures. But there's a notable seller here on the tape. Let's see if we can have another go at this now that they've just done that deep wash. Oh, now you go and fill it. Now you go and fill the players. All right, I'll look for the same play if we're willing to hold the pullbacks here and then complete the move to previous day high, and then I want to be out. Be careful because ES is coming into its cool wall here. I think NQ's got a bit more to go. Can we hold value here? Any dip that holds 800 is a sign of strength right now, given what we just did. So if we can come down here and hold, I'm going to try and feather in long. Small size again because it's rotation. Yeah, nice. Good hold. Now I want to clear this liquidity out to 50s. Just looking for small scalps here today. Here we go. There's 20s, peeling a little bit off. Can we come and clean the rest to 50s? Yeah, 50s and then 900s ideally. Come on. Same play as we looked at, I don't know, 4 minutes ago. This is good, looking better now, almost at the 50s. I will front run some of this if I have to. 50s, 900s, main targets, and then if we got lucky, we get all the way up here. But 50s and 900s, I'm already paying myself some here. Like I said, base hit mentality. I'm not expecting the full moves today. You can see that. They're chopping this around in value. This is a really tough area to be bidding on, but the fact that we're above that grey box is a pretty strong sign, higher time frame. We've had major rejections as we get up into anywhere that we're at now. Basically, this red zone is where we keep rejecting on the hourlies, right? We failed to bid above this all of Tuesday, all of Wednesday, and then all of Thursday last week. All right, so it just depends whether they're going to clean out the stops or not, but we wouldn't bank on it. Here we go. Here's 50s. You're almost there. Come on, market. Lots of liquidity sat up here to get filled at 50s. Looking to peel a bit more off at 50s if we can. ES hit its cool wall. So ES has already hit this and rejected. So ES completed its options move. So we're lagging behind a bit on the NQ. Unsurprising because semis cannot move right now. The power of semis, man. I don't remember back in the day when we'd be up 3% in Magland and lagging this far behind in NQ world, but that's the market we're now in. They hold so much power on the semiconductors. Right, back to the 800s. This is back to my entry. If we start losing this, I'm going to cut it because we can wash right back down to this little node at 65. And if we lose 65, we're going to come right back into 40 and 25 again. And if we lose that, we're going to rotate the whole of New York range again. We cannot complete auctions today, it seems. All right, out of this again. I'm going to see how far we come down. This is why we lock in. Keep talking about paying ourselves regularly today. Base hits, base hits, base hits. Okay, back into point of control again. If they leave this, they're going to rotate right back down to value again. So I'm going to leave this alone in this area. If they can't show me strength, I'm not going to bid. Big rejection on that cool wall from ES. That's notable. Notable on ES for sure. So ES already tagged this and notable flush away from it now. All right, here's point of control again. If they lose this, they're going to rotate back down probably to this node down here into 700. Here you go. And then they'll make another decision there if they want to come back inside yesterday's value or if they're willing to bid it. So next level under here will be back down into here. If you are short for any reason, if you've traded this rejection here, would have been nicer. ES is the much better short right now. I can show you how clean ES was on that move. Into red block, all right, into cool wall, look at that, tagged it, into grey block, that's your cover. If they lose that, New York Open and all the way back down here. It's a much cleaner trade on ES right now. Because we came into resistance. We actually missed it here on NQ by a tiny piece, but there we go. All right, here's previous day value area high. So you want to be covering here. If they lose this, right, we'll rotate back down to point of control. So I'm interested. If they lose this, I'll look for a short. Here's V1. It's so quick. It's insane. So this is the area now. If they're going to see follow through, we'll see. I'm willing to sell the edge here if they show me a strong rejection around in front of 63s, basically. If they bid back through that, and then we squeeze right back up. There we go, 63s. They're trying to bid back through it for the squeeze back up at the moment. So just waiting here for them to make a decision. Are they going to hold value or not? Some buyers got trapped there at 60s. All right, if this fails to break higher, I'm going to get short here. Small size. Again, tiny size. This is not like I've been playing recently. But if we fail here, 63s, starting to add short. Here we go for the breakdown towards low of day. Really nice. Here we go. So already up here, like 50 points, locking some in straight away in case we don't take low of day and point of control, all right? Because I'm not expecting it. I'd like it. But given how this market operates, I don't expect that. So we're short here, looking for this. If we break that, we'll try and get runner down to that. If we reclaim this, we're out. Very simple. You could even argue you get long on a reclaim because it would be a value reclaim. Nice. Let's see if we can keep extending here. Sellers keep getting stuck at 600, so we need them to auction under 600 aggressively now because they keep getting a little bit stuck down here. There's liquidity to fill at 570s, and if we let go at 560s or point of control, then there's a good chance we rotate down to here. But I'm going to lock in a ton more into here if we can even get there. Don't know that we can even get there. ES coming into an RBS zone now that it could print off if it wants. So divergence still at play. Semi's getting absolutely nuked here. All right, they finally let go of PDC. So I want this to stay heavy if Semi's going to continue to get run over here. Versus New York Open versus previous day value area high. We need that to stay heavy. Very volatile up here right now. Good so far. We need a new low here and then low of day. We look really good now. They just got to get a new low here and a low of day. Come on. Beautiful. Yes. Come on, extend it. Get me a fill down there. Trying to get back down to low of day here. And I want to lean on 600 now. 600 to 607 has to stay heavy now. Do not want this back up to 640s. Okay, out there, locking more in. Can always get back in. VIX high of day. Look how quickly we're moving. Crazy. I'll re-enter if we get slapped back down up here again. Otherwise, I'm just going to not look for any more short continuation because in my mind, if they keep holding up here, there's nothing I can do. All the time we're heavy here, I'm willing to keep sort of playing this move here. Cover some if they reclaim out. Short cover some if they reclaim out. Short cover some if they nuke. Great. That's what I'm really looking for is here and here. So looking for the same play again here. All the time they're heavy versus this. I'm looking for this and this. Come on. Come on, close heavy. Let's go. Let's fucking go, baby. All right. Can we get me a cover down here, please, market? There we go. Thank you. All right, now runners now. And if we get lucky, we'll come all the way down here. VIX breaking out. Software cannot get through its 50-day, all right? Software keeps doing the 50-day VWAP bounce. Let's see if we can extend this now on a runner. So our next cover is down at 455s, and that would be a full rotation. Now, overnight value is here, so you might want to peel, I'd say 80+% off, because I don't have conviction that we're coming here today, all right? But if we got lucky, we get it. If we reclaim 20s, I'm done. I'll just be done again. I'm not going to risk all the way back up to entry. Thirteens, almost at 20s, almost at VWAP. Nice rejection there. They're trying to send this back through. No sellers chasing down now. Sellers like all the way up to 50s right now, being silly. No follow through under previous day point of control. There's a buyer caught at the low, so I'm not convinced the low of day is in yet. Doesn't mean it's we have to come and take it now. But the low, the auction at the low doesn't look that good. Come on. Come on. Please. Come on. Let's take the low. I'm not convinced this auction at the low is good. Like I said, it's a 100-lot buyer. That's not a good auction of the low. So I think there's a chance we can make a new low. So in here is a big buyer. Down to teeny weeny size. All right, my stop's moving to 600 here. I don't care. I don't want to get caused in a rip back. I don't want my face ripped off here. You can risk 20 still. I've moved mine down to 600 just so you know, which is VPOC for me for the day on NinjaTrader. I don't want it breaking back above there. There's absorption at these lows, folks. There's definite absorption in these lows. I'm not saying we don't break lower, but there's notable absorption taking place here. It's odd that they're protecting this buyer at the low. So I don't want to get stuck and a face ripper back up through 600. So I will be cutting this at 600. If you want to risk 620, it makes total sense. But I'm being stingy. So we all know what happened last week to Alex when he tried to add back in for continuation. All right, I'm out. That's 600 for me. Now, the better risk technically is 620, but I'm not willing to risk that extra 20 points. What's a good long zone? There's two areas, right? If you're looking to play the edges, you either need to see a reclaim. All right, so if you see this and a hold, that would be a decent long. Or if you see this, ideally they fill the gap and then came back above value. That would be a decent long rotation as well. All right, you want reclaims of levels. Remember, playing edge to edge. It's a shame NQ didn't poke up here. We wanted to get short up here. So we were long, and then I wanted to flip short here for back down. I'm just trying to focus on the edges right now. I don't think the low of day is in here, but it doesn't mean that we can't lift 50 to 100 points higher and come back for it later in the day. But I don't think the low of day is in. Look at that move on ES once it hit that cool wall. It's coming right down to its high volume level for the options. Jeez, what a move on ES off that cool wall. All right, here they come. They're coming for that low. Come on. Once they break that low, they will attempt to get you down to 456s. And there has been absorption here, but this low of day does not look very good to me. Right, this is what we have at the lows. You've got a big 100-lot buyer. There you go. He's fucked. There you go. There's just proof. That's how we know that he's a silly boy, because he was a market buyer. Okay, so cover some here, and then if you're still holding your next levels down here, all the way down now to 460. 500 psychological level, you can cover some here if you need. And you want this to stay heavy versus 40 to 50 now, really. 40 to 60, let's say. Really nice. So you can just use that buyer's pain. It was very obvious to me that we would make a new low. What's not obvious is when they want to make it. Right? It was very obvious that we'd make a new low. What's not obvious is when they want to make it. So 500 psychological level here. Oh, look at that reaction at 500. They didn't want you under that, did they? All right, VIX breaking upside through PDC, coming back to its 5-day. Software, it is VWAP. Semis are around low of day. That buyers try to rebid again at that same level, that 40. So all the time you're under 40, you're going to see sell side pressure. If you break back above 40, that the big buyer will be comfortable again. So just understand that. If you break back above this 40 and hold, that big buyer will start getting comfortable again. Just be patient now. I'm out of this now, so there's nothing I can do at the moment. This is your next cover. Down here in a gap fill if you get lucky. Great rejection, previous day point of control. So this is looking good now. So these buyers that we just talked about, this big buyer here who tried to aggressively buy the lower day and he just tried again, he is stuck. All right, so it's him in pain, which is causing this rotation back down to previous day value area low. So you want to be covering some to this in front of this. You've got some zero prints here. And if you get under that, we can think about previous week. But your main covers, I'd say, would be here now. And again, see money, take money. All right. Lock in. All right. This thing, if it's taught you anything today, it's rotating fast. If they start bidding, you know, on software or something, or, you know, if we get this SOXL coming down into the 200s, which is a big put wall, if they start front running that and bidding, this thing will start moving back upside again very quickly. Commentary is the best. Some up $1,000 on a funded and $1,500 on another. Lock them both out. You're a legendary. No worries, man. All right, you're almost here. So previous day value area low for me on NinjaTrader is here at 455. All right, so we have slight discrepancy here. I'm going to go with NinjaTrader. Let me just move this up. 455. All right, this is what NT has. All right, so this is it. There you go, tagged. 80% out now. You're holding runners now for gap fill, Globex, and previous week value area low. Unfortunately, I'm out of this. So you should be covering most of your position here. Oh, it's people in here saying I've made them lose. What's gone on there? I can't even see it. Whoever said that, I'm sorry if you've had a bad day, but I feel like I've called this market really well. I've said a million times, you need to size down. We're in a rotational market. If you don't understand why we're moving and how we're moving, I'm not sure how I can help you. Like, I warned you we're in rotations. I even did a fucking whole video for you on YouTube yesterday to talk about it. I don't know what else to say. It's in the newsletter. I've warned you. I can't manage your risk for you. I can call out the levels. I can call out what I'm looking for. We were long through here. I was long on the reclaim. I had a couple of efforts up here. We didn't quite get to our target. We take those off. Like I said, we lose these levels up here. We take them off. There's a big flush down. I called that this flush down was probable to happen. I didn't take this flush. I took what happened underneath. We take this short back down for the walk down. I mean, I don't think I can do much more than that, folks. Like, this is not an easy market to trade, and I feel like I'm giving you levels pretty well. Alex, I'm only comfortable with one micro in this market condition, so partial, not options. How should I approach this? Fixed exits? No, not fixed. Like, exit based on where liquidity is. So, like, where were we likely to go today? Okay, so above, if they held us above previous day value area high, which is right here, this blue line on the screen, which is also the New York Open, we were likely to try and auction up to this, right? We didn't quite get there for whatever reason. So this was one point of control, and then this is the next. We had relative weakness in the Qs, all right? So you want to be taking into there. Just take it off, right? If they hold this, bid again, try and get into there. It doesn't work, take it off, or we can move a running stop up, right? Once we fail point of control and we fail value, right now we're rotating previous day's value. If we rotate now, we're going to close the gap. If we come under here, we can come gap fill, all right, and then down here. Sellers getting pretty heavy-handed there at 500, so that you know. Now, I wouldn't be expecting too much more downside in this market right now. Like, max put right now is 29,060s. Gap fills here and then here. So I'd imagine we find a bid around here today if we're going to stay in a pinned-in market, right? So if they're going to just rotate previous week value, I can see something like this happening. Like, maybe we... can we draw it? Maybe we come down and we gap fill and we react up, and maybe they come down into here. Maybe you see one of these. And then this again. I can imagine that happening today if we're going to stay pinned in previous week. If we lose previous week and we lose this is a whole different ball game. Then we're coming way, way, way lower. This is a very important level for the market down here, all right? Because if we zoom out, and if you think about in the video where I said I'll change and I'll start being more heavy-handed, where if we lose value, all right? So if we start leaving, this is a giant bear flag, and we see this move here. Okay, Alex will size up again because they'd be looking for this. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that. All right, and we talked about this. It's all in the video. Right, in here, small size, careful, expecting rotations. Out of here, size up. Even in here, I will size up a little bit if there's a clear higher time frame failed break. We're in controlled selling right now. Right, PDC almost here, folks. SOXL, yeah, it's starting to lose 200. It's a big level. It's a huge over-under net right now. So semis are what are pulling this market down, because MAG was pretty strong this morning. If we think about it, software was strong this morning. Software coming back in now as well. MAG's holding up all right. Apple's starting to sell, Nvidia's starting to sell with semis. Tesla's 3% up. Microsoft 0.70% up. Meta 2.68% up. Google 3.36% up. Amazon 4.19% up. Can you see what's happening? Holding MAG or bidding MAG. Starting to sell software now today. Definitely selling semiconductors today. All right. There's your gap fill. All right. So your next partial's here. So you should be out most of it, and your last target is down here, folks. Now, if we break under all of this, then we're going to go into a pro trend looking for much more weakness. But I would be covering a good chunk of your change here. You've just filled the gap to Friday's close based on cash. Any stocks I'm interested in this week for swings? Yes, mainly the MAG. If we're going to bid MAG, especially those which have pulled back way too far. Softy, Amazon. Amazon had a really good prime day, beat expectations, so that's why you're seeing big bids on that. I think Amazon's been undervalued. VIX just absolutely ripping faces right now through the 19s. 20's the next level if it bases up here. Oh, I'm sad I'm not in this. This is an extra... Where do we get out here? I can't remember where we got out. Somewhere around here. This is bleeding. Bleeding. Bleeding! Staying heavy versus PDC here. I'm not convinced this is done. It might need a bid up to be sold back into, but this is your PDC. This is the next target. So if you got anything left, this is the next target. If you got lucky all the way down there. Where's P1? We're coming into P1 now on ES as well. So I'd expect a reaction here soon on ES. So it's gone from biggest call wall to biggest put wall in, 15 minutes? All right, big sellers at these lows. Be careful. Very big sellers at these lows. In front of that previous week value area low. It's never a good sign to see this. if you're looking for continuation. Recommend being careful with a long now, or no one's looking for a long yet. This is just a level of interest if they're willing to come underneath and reclaim. No one should be longing against this momentum. Yeah, I think just let's not all try and sound really smart here. There is a response at value. There are sellers trapped down there. We are seeing this move back towards previous week close. There's definite selling caught down there at the moment, mate. I can see it on the tape. All right, so if buyers now hold 320, those sellers would be stuck. I'm not saying I'd long here, but I don't agree with what you've just said. I can literally see it on the tape. So like let's just like go easy with very firm statements. I'm not saying it's a long yet, but there's a definite reaction. There you go. Back through previous week close. Now, I think they can come up and test 420 and even 460 here if they are willing to hold 320s. I'm not going to bid on this because the momentum's too heavy, but you know, I can see them on the tape here. There's 150 lot stuck at 320 and we left buy side imbalances. Huge buyer came in at low. There's just some absorption down there. Like, I still think we're probably going to come down here, but I just think, like, be careful in this zone now. I'm not bidding on this. Like, we haven't shifted structure, but there's definite someone interested in here. There's definitely someone interested in here because we have a 200 lot here, sell side, a 61 lot here, sell side, and we had a reaction up and a pullback in. And if they keep holding this, you're going to see a battle here start to develop. That's not enough for me to be long, but I would be cautious. And you had delta divergence up here for sell side pressure, and you had delta divergence at the low for buy side pressure. So they are covering into previous week's value area low. It's an expected move, isn't it? We have gamma down here if they want to really attack. More selling at these lows. Another 70 lot, and he's not getting his way at 300. If these sellers don't get a breakdown soon, there's going to be notable sell pressure here caught. Structurally, we're still in a big sell. We're under flow zones, we're under previous week close, but we're into target levels here at previous week value. I still think they've got a chance to move lower, but there is notable selling, aggressive selling at these lows, and they haven't been able to break down since they started doing it. That's all taken place in the last 4 minutes. Doesn't mean we don't move lower. Just something to note, all right? Something to note. Again, they're not getting their way. They're a bit unhappy right now. I would say if you start to see this reclaim 60s, those sellers are going to get very unhappy. There's 150 lot here trying to hold it down at 350s. Right, so these sellers are from 320 to 290. That's where they're stuck. We're starting to hold 320s now. So the churn is 320 to 290, and they're starting to get stuck. And if you start to see this hold above, here comes a big buy. So someone's stopping out here. And if we move above 70 now, we can start squeezing. All right, I'm in long here, small size. Tiny size because it's counter trend, but I've seen them stuck at the lows and we're C now. And in fact, I'm going to take some profit there. And here comes the buy algo, and hopefully he can lift me up to 460. So I'm taking profit at where we got the delta divergence up here at 64. All right, so we've hit value, we've held value, we've trapped sellers, and we're C now. If I can get 420s, it would be great. And if I get 460s, even better. And then we get acceptance, then we think about adding for strength in front of 460. Either way, taking some profit here. 420s would be great. They're stacking the book here from 390s to 420s to try and hold sell side. So if we lose this bid at 50, I'll just cut it. Good hold of 50. Nice. All right, can we come and fill me up at 420s? See why we don't say statements that we don't understand? We only say what's happening on the book, not what we think, nothing like that. We can only say what's happening. See how I only tell you what's actually happening? Don't care about my opinion. My opinion's worthless. All that's worth anything to us when we're trading is what's happening or has happened. And I can see sellers are stuck. I can see a big buyer trying to hold 350s right now. So as long as we hold that, I'll sit in it. If we lose it, done. Already locked some in this little squeeze up. But I will be looking for 420 to 460 ideally. Here we go. So going to break through fours and give me a 420 fill here. It would be fantastic. And then 460. And that would be 100 points for this counter trend squeeze up. Here we go. It's fours. All right, moving my stop into the money here. Try and protect previous week close here. Imbalance is starting to open up here, so I want to hold those down towards 74s. Here's the 74s. That's the imbalance. Can we hold 74s and lift? More buy side pressure coming here. They're desperate to try and get this 420. They want to test this bar at 420, which is where I want to peel some off. I will not let coming back under previous week close now, because we've got buy side imbalances. I want to see these buyers step in and lift this to 420s. If they can't do it, they can't do it. It's fine. We've locked some in either way. This is counter trends, hard trade, hardest trade in the book, but we're trying it. Here we go. Let's go. 420s, please. Come on, buyers. There are all these buyers at 375s. I'd like them to walk up here. Come on, buyers. Walk up. Come on, Mr. Buyer. Do what you did last week, please. Almost there, folks. All right, partial there. And then we'll see if we can get value area low. And if we get acceptance through previous day value area low, we can actually think about rebidding it if we can hold up there. All he does is lose. I don't know why I follow him. All he does is lose. He won't answer a question. All right, here we go, folks. The next TP. If we find, I'm expecting this to fail between 50s and 90s. All right, I'm expecting this to fail. Okay, between 60s and 90s. So I'm down to tiny size. I expect it to fail up here. If we reclaim it and hold, it's going to be amazing. Oh, he got me trapped. I bought it high. Oh my god. All right, out of that. Like I said, I expect it to fail up there. See money, take money, right? See money, take money. If you want, I can show you why I traded that. What I saw to make me trade that. All right, what I saw to make me trade that. Like I said, I hadn't seen the reaction, but I had seen the absorption. So, right, down here, into these lows. Right, let's make sure you guys can see that. There was a big buyer, right? A big sponge, a big whale in here who said, no, 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 you're not coming lower. All right, and what we saw, if you watched this, is these big boy sellers get absorbed. And then it happened again here. All right, and then we held. And that's what gave me the conviction. All these guys got absorbed down here, and then it felt like we would need to come and test this pivot. This is where the buyer was stuck. So I was looking for 420. This is where a very large buyer got himself a little bit caught. All right, so I was looking for the market to trade from here once the sellers were stuck back to there where the buyer is stuck. That's why we locked in profit at 420, right? And I said, if we get 450, then we can come up a little bit further, but we didn't, all right? So we locked in, and we're going to ping pong between these because sellers are caught at the lows and a buyer's caught here. And this is where we're build out now. I've taken the trade. I'm done with it. That's done. It's one trade. See how I've shifted? Last week and for the last 8 weeks, I would have been a bit more like, hey, I'm going to sit in this. I'm going to add into this. I think we're going to do this. I'm looking for expansion. I'm not in that mode anymore. That's gone. I've had to drill it out myself for today. All right, that's gone. It's been and gone. I'll get back into that mode when we break out of this higher time frame mess. All right, I'll get back into that mode of looking for 200-300 point trades when we leave this garbage. All right, we leave this, great. Even if we leave it and reclaim it, I'll get back into that mode for this. We leave it to the upside, all right, we reclaim this, chop here, we leave it to the upside, I'll get back in that mode as well. Okay, so sellers at lower day remain stuck. If you're still in this long, this is your target here, 450, 460. All right, so this here, value. It's current day's value area low, it's previous day's value area low. Now, I'll tell you, if you find acceptance back inside this, it means we've filled the gap, we've counter gamma, we've held this. This can be your long back up to here, and you take profit into previous day point of control. So if they find acceptance back inside value, previous day point of control, maybe even all the way up here if you got very lucky. Like I said today, I can imagine them, if you think about what I said when we were here, I can imagine them rotating the whole of this numerous times. Why would I think that? Why on earth would I think that? Well, what's happened before? Oh yes. What have we done in these areas? Oh yes, we've rotated them. Oh yes, we've rotated them. Oh yes, we've rotated them. Oh yes, we've just rotated them again, all right? Very probable we're going to do this, isn't there? Very probable we're going to do that. Market's told you. That's what I'm going to do in here. I'm going to punish people who don't understand it, and I'm going to rotate on their ass. Sounds like Dobby from Harry Potter. Oh, Dobby! All right, if you find acceptance here inside of value, all right, then you can look for the rotation to point of control. All right, if you hold this now, certainly you'd have to support this node. Anything like this, you can look for this, but be careful of the two leg getting dunked back on. All right, so at the moment we're in rotation. We're in a strong sell. We expect a reaction. Where would we expect a reaction from, regardless of what people in YouTube say? We expect a reaction from here. So once we get here, we watch order flow. We got there. Sellers got trapped. We're starting to reclaim. There's your TP. All right, if you get lucky, you get up here. Can you see how I operate now, folks? I don't care what I think. If I start caring what I think, what I hope, and hopium, and my ego on my shoulder is telling me stuff. If I just follow what I'm seeing and I trade exactly what I'm seeing, chances are I'm going to be right more times than I'm wrong, because it means I'm respecting the market. I'm respecting what the market's telling me. I have to respect the market and what it's telling me. If I start going against what the market's telling me, especially in conditions like this, I will get hurt. Yes, please. Yeah, I've got a little bit in there. Thank you, darling. Master has given Dobby a squeeze. I love that. Yes, Master. Am I long? I was long. I took it off here, so like, you know, I'm literally in base hit. I was long here to here. I took it off once we failed here. I wanted this to hold. They had to do the little trap under volume. All right, they did the little trap and go. All right, I'm already done with that. I'm done with it. If they hold this and we build out here, like, I would prefer, if I'm honest, I'd prefer this to come down here and then reclaim now to show me strength. But you can stay long up to previous day point of control, right? This is where they want to come and revisit. And VWAP, here you go, is the squeeze back up. So who's crying right now? These sellers here, and there's also about 300 lot here, all right? These sellers got stopped out, causing the run to here. These sellers are now stopping out, causing the run to here, all right? And I would lock in almost all of your profits here, to be honest, folks, right? Because there's a high probability chance that we're going to come back down into here, maybe even here. If you got very lucky, they'll turn the booster on, but I would lock in basically all of your profits into here, right? This is a pullback, and they might resell this back down. And once they do that, we can make a decision down here whether we're going to see this or continuation. My guess would be, given the state of this, right, that we're just going to do nastiness in here. Have I seen Disclosure Day? Yes, mates. Yes. Went to see it opening weekend. Thought it was fantastic. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people see all the comments on like Reddit and stuff. Oh, E.T. was, but E.T.'s not a real fucking story, mate. Disclosure Day is based on a real story. Okay, they've over-exaggerated some of it. But if you want to read the telepathy tapes, if you read David Grush's story and other people's stories, it's clearly based on real stories. Plus, my friend Brandon is one of the art directors on it. Very proud of him. Awesome work. And he's a big UAP, UFO guy like me. So that was fun for him to work on. So I thought it was great. And then I did go on Friday. Yes, I went to the cinema on Friday with my wifey and my mate Glenn to see Obsession. Fantastic. Thought it was brilliant. Thought it was absolutely brilliant. Amazing storyline, like great acting, great script, right balance of jumpiness with a bit of like light-hearted comedy in there to like alleviate the tension. Nice and gory. Thought it was so good. Thought it was so good. Did I sneak peek any of the art pieces for it? No. So he lives here, but that film was all made in New York, or at least that's where the art direction was done. So he left here for probably about 8 months last year to go, or the year before to go and do it. Yeah, exactly. Only 750k budget on Obsession. I don't know what they've grossed now, but massive. What do you say? A lot. Yeah, grossed a lot. There you go. My wife just said they did 224 million at the box office for Obsession. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, amazing success story. Okay, so here we go, folks. If you get very lucky, you get a V shape all the way back up, which I don't know. I'd rather we come here and hold this before we do this move, but you know, the market doesn't care what I want. Straight down, it might want to go straight back up. But I'd rather see this protect previous day's value now, which is also current day's value very low. I'd rather see this come back in and hold it if I want to rebid. I'm certainly not rebidding on VWAP in the mid of range, right? There's value for the day. This is basically the mid of it. I'm certainly not bidding there. But if we come and hold this, it will perk my interest. Milk and cereal? No, never heard of it. All right, so awesome, Kaizen. Okay, absorption here. Again, a big buyer here at 46 market side, and he's just absorbed that same level. So they're trying to get follow through upside. I really want this to come back down to 450 to show me what it wants to do. At the moment, they're trying to hold previous day point of control. I'm going to wait for it to drift down here. It might be that it doesn't give me what I want, but that's what I would like to see. I would like to see it drift back down. Oh, they're just bidding point of control aggressively now, trying to force it up. Much rather this comes back in down here for me. No, just a straight squeeze up here. Big bar coming in there at 600, breaking out here. And they're coming back up for previous day's value. If you're still long in this, you've got to be locking some in at New York Open and previous day value. So 644s up to 655s. Now, if you reclaim that, a giant squeeze is on. What are they turning around here? Semis. So here's the New York Open. And through this is value. Semis finding a bid. So semis are going to come back up. They're at previous day low. How semis react from now to 215s on the SOXL matters. Software's caught a bid again. And MAG looks strong, like we said all day. Like MAG's 2.70% up. So the rotation seems like they're bidding MAG all day. And they're rotating software and semis together. Now, they actually look quite similar here. They've both caught a bid together, but relative strength. If I just I'm going to just copy and paste this on your screen so you can see from my other chart. All right, so software's caught a bid and reclaiming. That's its 50-day. Semis came under the 200, caught a bid. This is previous day low, previous day close. This is the important level. And if they start squeezing through that, the whole market will start lifting because we're already bullish on the MAG, right? It's a big ask for it to do that, but we're already bullish on the MAG today. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Yeah, great film. Love that film. What made it drop, though, and what made the recovery like this? It seems extreme. It only seems extreme to you because you're focused in on an M1. But if you zoom out, there is absolutely nothing extreme about rotating these levels, right? Failed previous week point of control, tested previous week, value area low. There's nothing extreme about that. Bid back up. Why did we bid up back up the way they did? Well, everything came into a level that was too cheap, right? And sellers got caught, right? I kept talking about it. Sellers got caught down here. Here's the options level. Here's value. Sellers got caught inside, back inside previous day close, back up to mean, right? It seems extreme because the range is big. But if you go beyond that and you stop looking at the M1 and the points, right, there's nothing extreme about a 61% retrace. Nothing. And I mean, I can't say it enough, the importance of understanding the relationship, the three sectors that you need to watch for a prolonged period of time now until they start moving correlated or we start changing again is mag, software, semiconductors. That's what you need to watch. You want, if one's strong and the others are weak, this. If we find a bid on all three together, moonshot. If we sell all three together, dunk time, right? Dunk time. H1 rejection. Yeah, I mean, look at it. Off value. Like, it was literally to the tick, guys. Like, maybe it was one tick through it. There's your previous week value area low. Right now, I'm pretty certain if you read the newsletter, I'm gonna guess that that's in the newsletter for you. All right, I'm gonna guess that the rotational zone will be there. I would have talked about it. That buyers would need to protect this. All right, I didn't even look, but let's have a look. Bulls continue to take a well-earned breather after an exceptional run into the summer months. While opportunities remain available on both long and short side for day traders, it's unwise to ignore the increasingly mature range structure and buyers who remain trapped at recent highs. Until that overhead supply is cleared, rallies likely to face resistance. Friday's close was weak, leaving the market vulnerable heading into the weekend. If we open with a gap lower, the Bulls' first priority is to reclaim 29,295. Sorry, what? 29,295. That was this level. Bull's job is to reclaim this. So we've just tested it. All right, it's right there. Holding back above this level signals that buyers are absorbing. That's what we saw down there, right? And could open the door for rotation towards 29,400. Oh, there it is. All right. 29,550. Oh, there it is. And 29,650. Oh, there it is. All right, there's your weekly newsletter. That was given to you on Saturday. We've just done that move already. A more meaningful shift will continue above 29,950. Acceptance above this level suggests buyers are starting to regain momentum and increasing probability of filling the island gap overhead, bringing 30,200 and 30,400. So what if I said that buyers will try and hold this and go 1, 2, 3. We can keep rotating in there. Above this, more control for buyers. This, I don't want to really trade in. This is tradable. Right? It's there. It's literally there for free. You know, if anyone read the comments last night of the recent video, sunglasses are not smart looking side. They're not a smart looking side. Don't wear sunglasses inside. Well, fortunately, I don't wear sunglasses inside. All right, they are starting to try and bid here at previous day point of control. I really don't want to bid around this section. I'm interested down here if we can pull back a bit further, right? It's a big squeeze up. I'm interested how we act down here at the moment. I want to see if buyers are willing to protect this level. I'm not willing to bid here, all right? I got this move. I missed this move, so be it. It's fine. I'm not going to punish myself in this market. We'll see if we pull back and hold this or not. That's what I'm going to wait for now. If it doesn't and it goes without me, that's absolutely fine. We can chill out. Is Netflix perking my interest? It is, but I just wonder if it's got to come lower and do a gap fill at the moment. Don't read YouTube comments. Rule number 1. Yeah, it technically is set and forget, but sometimes you got to read them. It's quite funny. I don't get offended by them. I actually find them amusing at this point. Like the guy who wanted to bid the high on Friday and got caught. Like the guy that same guy that wanted to short the low on Thursday and got caught. Sometimes you just gotta laugh. Is there a GEX level indicator that anyone knows for NTA? Yes, Aloha. There is. Sorry, I'm waiting for my brain to get into gear. Someone help me out from chat. What's the other GEX, not Tanuki, that will provide GEX levels for Ninja? Can't remember. Let me have a look. Menthol Q. There you go. Came to my head just in time. Q Menthol. Yeah, Menthol Q. There you go. Well done. Thank you, whoever said that as well. Menthol Q will provide it to your Ninja Trader for you. Thank you, guys. Very kind of you. See, this is why YouTube's great, because we do actually have some great traders in here. GEXBot's another one, is it? Never heard of it, but I'm going to take your word for it. How do you join Discord? I've already learned your course. Okay, Terry, if you go to the end of the course, if you've done the course, go to the end of the course. There's a section on that will tell you how to join Discord. Just follow that section and I'll get you added. No worries, mate. You're welcome. All right, they're building out a flag to try and go higher here. I cannot deny it. I'm being stubborn. I am being stubborn. I do not want to bid here. It's a big node here. I'd much rather see this come down and bid back up. All right, I don't want to bid here because where's my risk? I don't know. Really, I've got a risk down here, attacking up here. It's not great. It's possible that they continue to break higher, but it's just not very comfortable for me to do that right now because I know we're in a rotation. I really don't want to bid, the mid part of this range. If we think about this, right? If we just think about this, in rotations, if you watch that video yesterday, what did I say? Focus on the edges and trades back inside. Focus on the edges and trades back inside. We don't want to trade the mid inside. Focused on the edges and back inside. That's where we wanted to get short today. Remember, we wanted to get an edge short back here. So we were long this morning for this push up, right? And we would have loved to get a short here. And if it came all the way down, great. And then we'd love to get this long back up. All right, we're focused here and here right now. I really don't want to trade in here. Now we can trade inside here, right, today and focus on the edge which we've created intraday, which is quite notably 400 now, right? So the market, what's the market told us this morning? Unfortunately, it didn't quite get to an area where we would have liked to have been short. So we were long here, right? There's your edge for the failure, right? We've now found no acceptance under 400. Market's made that clear. So if we can come down and hold around here, we can play this as an edge. If we fail 400 and we start basing out here, I'd watch out below because then you've got liquidity built to move lower. All right, so I want to wait and be patient now. I'll probably trade less and less and less in this environment and make less money, but that's okay because at some point we'll move out of this environment. If anyone was here in 2025, you will know how frustrated I got trading in a sideways range for 9 months or something crazy. What about the 350 earlier where buyers came in all the way down here? Yeah, I mean, this node here, but it needs to be protected. You can't let it come under here. All right, can't come under here. So if I should put the bubbles on the screen for you, shouldn't I, really? So what I'm really watching is, okay, well, if you want to be buyer, we're going to have to do it buy side first. Are you going to draw that for me? No, of course you're not. Thanks, TradingView. Right. Buyers. Oh my God, TradingView, you are a pain in the butt sometimes. You have that? All right, buyers came in here. That's that push before VWAP. Here. right? And sellers, sure we did sellers as purple. I just made that up. I'm sure we did them as purple. Did we not? Did we do them as orange? Anyway, sellers. I like this. All right, does that make sense why I got long? And the other sellers who got caught are here. All right, and there was more activity here. So I'm watching this range at the moment. Now, at the moment, these sellers are stuck. Now, I really want us to come down at least into here, ideally lower, and then reclaim. That would be preferable to me. All right, so if we vacate this, I think we come and test these guys and see if they then bid. Because if they're not already out, they should bid. If not, we come lower. And if we lose this, right, then I'm no longer thinking long. Then I'm thinking, okay, short continuation might start setting up. Right, this is why I'm being patient. I don't want to bid up here. I'm going to let the market come into a level that I'm interested in. And then I can make a decision. Much like earlier, once we came down here, I'll make a decision once we get down there. It was I thought it was purple. I thought it was purple, but I just I set a preset for it and it did it as a different color. Sometimes I think I'm losing my mind. 41 in a month and a bit. I wouldn't follow me trading at that point. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to look like Dr. Witos at some point. Turning up here with white hair, talking all sorts of fucking craziness. Be careful, folks. At some point, you got to leave me and go and follow a 18-year-old kid who went to the expo at the weekend. Make sure you follow him with his Le Boo Boo and his fake Supreme bag on. Oh my God, I got a fair value gap. Oh my God, I inverse the fair value gap. Oh my God, I can't wait to trade that fair value gap. Oh my God. Which country have I visited in Africa? Well, I used to visit Egypt a lot because my family lived there. They're no longer there other than my aunt, but my family were in Cairo for a long time. So I've been to Egypt, a lot of the North African countries. My sister lived in Morocco for a bit, in Marrakesh. If we come down here, oh my God, this is going to be the Le Boo Boo trade. Le Boo Boo. If we come down here, oh my God, Le Boo Boo's going to buy it back up. And if we don't get it, then a Pokemon's going to come in. What the fuck, man? I even see traders now trying to trade Pokemon cards. What are you doing? Are you 5? What the fuck, man? World's gone mad. I tell you what I did buy last week, other than the expensive stuff I bought the weekend, which woke up yesterday thinking, did you really need to do that? I did buy like a little Game Boy emulator, which has got like SNES, NES, Master System, Mega Drive, PlayStation on. Best 30 quid I've ever spent. Oh my God. I was on it all weekend playing Mario Kart on the N64. What a game. What a game. Love it. Oh my God, they're holding these guys. All right, so these guys, we just said, these guys might get out. They might want to hold this because these sellers are stuck. So if we come down there and they want to get out, break even, this is what you're going to see. This now becomes important. Now, if we reclaim this, this is a very strong signal at that point that the market might want to move higher because these sellers are caught. We're not even coming to revisit this. That's a strong move off that 500 zone. How we act here becomes important. We do have some buyers up here caught. Now I should move this down a bit. What's his average price? He is at 600. Let's just make sure that's accurate. That's pretty accurate about here. All right. That's a strong bid back to VPOC here. It's a shame we didn't come a bit deeper. Maybe I should have just bid on that, to be honest. We'll see if we can pull back in a bit here. Oh, I really don't want to trade this range up here. That's fast. That's fast. Look at that. Wow. It's 120 points off these guys who are stuck. See how order flow helps you? It's just those guys that are stuck. They are lifting and lifting and lifting and lifting now. Oh, I'd love this to come back in a bit. Build some liquidity out here. Can we pull back a bit? So software back at its 50-day. SOXL is trying to get through previous day lows. So this is an important point for the market. I'd like us to rotate this a bit because then we can build out some liquidity and we can look at possibly a new opportunity of getting long again now that we've come underneath and reclaimed. We'll see if we can hold 6s or even 580s here if we get really lucky. There's the 6 hold. There's liquidity up here to 650. Come on. Can we come down to 580 or something and just chop around for a minute? I don't really want to bid in here. I mean, much rather bidding down here. That's a good reaction. That's the move I asked for 15 minutes ago. I know, Paul. I know. But look how quick it happened, though. Like, I mean, look at that. Crazy. All right, we'll see. There's a little zero print here, just under 600. I just want to see if we come down and hold that. They are stacking sell side at 35 to 60 at the moment. So I think we'll clear that out. And ideally, we pull back first and don't just absolutely run all these guys out. And we'll see. Software's still struggling in that 50-day. So 50-day to VWAP rotation continues. I'm interested in bidding this at the moment. I just want to see like a little wash, a little dunk before we move higher. Would be preferable. Not like a dunk down here, just a little pullback and hold to build out that little right shoulder in this fat node. A little trap somewhere in here before we move higher. I don't think we're going to get it. I think they're just going to squeeze faces out here, but I'm watching semi, still stuck at previous day low at semi, so they can still sell against this at the moment. If we start going back above PDL and PDC on semis, you're probably going to get a run up. We'll see. Getting tight here. They are stacked from 35 to 60 at the moment, sellers. Right, here's the zero print. Can we come a bit lower and fill it? No, you're just going to hold it, are you? No, they just held in front of that zero print there. I think they're going to lift this. I don't know if I can get involved. Here it goes. They fucking protected that zero print. Crazy. Here it goes. Here it goes, folks. All right, trying to join this flag for the break. Paying myself into 60s if possible. And then we'll just see if we get lucky here. We're going to get right the way back up here to 740s. Oh, I really wanted to bid down here so I could get a cheap long. Cheap based on how we've built out, not built on the whole day, obviously. Now, if they hold here above value area high, it'd be a good sign that we can then push up to current value area high in the day. So if we can now hold this bid here, come on, Alex, draw it for them, then we're looking for this, okay? Very, very careful here. Come on, semis. Nice. It's a nice imbalance here versus 40s. If they can hold this versus 40s, it looks pretty good. We need semis have got to get through pre-DL though. I'm going to tell you now, this is a very tricky trade based on what we're seeing over here. It looks good. I'm bidding on this, and I'm just trying to lift this all the way up to 730, 740 if possible. Here we go. Let's go. All right, sevens here. Again, I'm taking some money straight away because I don't know when we're going to fail today because we're in a range. But ideally, we get up here. And I'm willing to stay in this all the time we hold 40s, right? Under 40s, not willing to stay in it because we'll do a 40-point flush back down to 600 and maybe even 560s. So it's why I'm taking money, I'm out. Taking money, see money, take money. It's just taking my stop. You know what that means. You know this is going to go 740 now and do a 100-point ripper because it's just taken my fucking stop. Alex trade coming up in 3, 2, 1. Send it. Look at you. All of you lot happy. The Alex trade's coming. He's out. He's taking his stop. He's going to go 1,000,000 points higher. Fuck all of you. You don't even know what this means in the US. It's so funny. Oh my God, he's giving me peace signs. Up yours, Delors. Alex is out. Show me the money. Here it comes. Here it goes. Whew. Send it, baby. 740s is your target here. All right, folks. 740s. Please make sure you are paying yourself or at least moving your stop up. All right, these are not trending environments. This is a ranging environment. Alex is my liquidity. He is indeed, but he's just taking everything that's in front of him. He ain't going to get into that mode that he was in on Wednesday and Thursday. Well, more Thursday, wasn't it? Looking for expansion a lot. Well, I do need a bathroom. I do need the bathroom. So tell you what, let's go bathroom, see if you get what you want. I will remind you all, it is in chat. All right, we do giveaways live on this stream. Recently, it's been really poor. All right, we need to get to 1,200 likes. We'll do an Apex giveaway. All right, and then we'll do another giveaway at 1,500. So let's start getting in the habit of getting these likes up for me, because I feel like I'm giving a lot back. I actually want to give you guys more, but I need to get the likes up so the stream grows, and then they give me more things to give you, and self-fulfilling prophecy. Once I get to 50,000 subs on the channel, we'll do another big giveaway. I've already given away, what did we give away earlier this year? I gave away a 150k account and a monitor. I've got another 150k account to give away at the end of the month, and a 50k account for both for Lucid. And at 50,000 likes, I don't know, maybe we'll do a laptop or something fun. All right, be right back. See you guys in a minute. All right. Still holding up well there for you lot. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. This is your target up here. 740, 750. Big buys coming up here. Trying to finish this squeeze up for you guys. Semis have recovered PDL and PDC. That's a very strong move from the semiconductors now, holding that 200. So they might want to come up to previous day high, which would be just over 230. If they break that, they're going to go 242s, and that could get you all the way up here and actually beyond at this point, given the strength we're seeing in the broader market. So really, what really matters is, for me, is the equal weighted mag, right? So I'm watching this right now. Looks very strong, right? We're 2.5% up on the equal weighted mag. It's a very strong move. All right, so you're into target zone. So gray zone, yellow, blue, red. This is your target zone. You must be locking in here. If you get lucky, you're going to come up here and finish this auction up here, which we didn't finish earlier. If you get lucky, you're going to get that, right? Do not be bidding here at the moment on this move, right? You should have been bidding either here or on this pullback, one of these that held for this move. Do not now bid in an area where we want to take profit, all right? If it goes higher, it's either going to go without you and you just have to accept that you're not in it like me, and that's a good trade by not chasing. If you bid here and it goes higher and you get in and you get rewarded, it's a terrible position to be chasing, and you're going to get rewarded and force bad habits. Tell you what, there is a ton of sell side imbalances up at just above 800 here if it does want to squeeze all the way up. Wish this market would be clean and easy to read every day. I don't think it's been too bad. You just saw buy side absorption here. They're not finished with this. That little flushback just got bid up instantly. They are desperate to complete this move at the moment. Surprised they want to be that aggressive up here right now, but they do. I am surprised. I'm going to be honest. That's surprising that they want to bid this so aggressively here, but they do, which is a good sign for you guys who are long. A big absorption into 700 here. Just make sure you've locked in. Hopefully they just complete this now all the way up here for you guys. But look, you can see this. This is value area high for the current week since the Sunday open. It's previous week point of control. This is the biggest chop zone from the previous week. All right, this area here. Above this, we should do that move, which is why really earlier we should have completed that auction, but we didn't. But you can keep getting stuck here. There is someone trying to bid 700 and hold this market up at the moment. You can see him on the tape. He's come in a few times here. So I'd say as long as you hold sevens, if you're long from here and here, you look all right into this node here, low volume node. So long as he keeps trying to bid here. If he can't, if he gives up here, be careful because you're going to come right back down to 650 if he can't hold the bid here. Hopefully he keeps holding the bid here. He is trying, keeps reloading. They're coming for him again. Where's semis? Semis are holding PDC now as well. That looks good. Yeah, and you should complete this higher. They should try and get you through point of control. It's going to be a very contested zone here. And then all the way up here. So lock in most of your money, 740, 750, then 780, and then initial balance high. Once we break IB high, we should come up to 900 really. Just blew everything I had after keeping my job. Keep me in your thoughts, Alex. Flame Gamer, what do you mean you just blew everything you had after quitting your job? So you quit? I don't understand that. What do you mean there, my friend? I'm a little bit worried about a comment like that. What is it that you mean there? $700 still being bid by this guy. He's still trying to complete this move. Semi's coming in with strength here. Still 700s there on the tape. He's still trying to bid. He's trying to complete this move through point of control. $720 is the 5-day as well. Interesting. Good eyes. Good eyes. It's also, I mean, can't really get you on it. How can I get you on the daily? Yeah, 5-day. It's also this node here. All right, this node here, the edge of this node from current year. You can see how fat this is. And if we do like another one, if we just do from here, right, it's the edge of here as well. So 30,000 even we could get up to, but this right here, big level. It's a big level in here. So if they get through this, they'll try and get up here into the 20-day. Otherwise, this keeps being developed, right? Like we've developed since, when is it? The 1st of May? Start of May, right? Start of May. So he's still trying to bid 700. If he loses his bid, he's going to come 675, 650. So he's losing the bid at sevens now. So if he can't recover sevens, they're going to go 675, 650 pretty quick. Small retracement to push higher. The thing is, if you can't hold this node, we're going to come down into here. Right, remember, grey block is a very thick block that we've failed up many, many, many times as an over-under. Back to sevens again. It's a big level, this sevens. He's trying to trap under sevens and lift it. Here he goes. Let's see if he holds sevens again now. He's back in at sevens. And again. And again. It's a big battle here. And again, he's trying to bid. He's trying to force the squeeze higher. Here he comes. He's still only bidding sevens. So it's interesting that he won't follow through afterwards. Under sevens. He's starting to lose the bid here if he can't reclaim it. You can see how important this edge is here now, right? So he can't lose 80s. If he loses 80s, he's going to get dunked on. Back to sevens. So 700s to 80s is the rotation at the moment. If he loses that, they're going to pull it back down to previous day value area high. If he can hold this and get back above that sort of 720 zone, he's got a chance to try and get through previous weak point of control and try and lift up. That's what he's trying to do. Let's have a look at the broader market. Semi's still holding PDC at the moment. So they're trying to build out to move higher at the moment on semis. It looks pretty good there for the build out. Okay, here's the move back towards 720s. He's got to get through this. There's a buyer stuck up here at 725, which he has to get through. So he's tried to absorb here a lot, and that's a big rejection up there in that attempt to get through 720s. How do I see he's buying 700? Because I don't use anything else other than my eyes. I can see him bid and bid and bid and bid and rebid, and then I can see it go through on the tape as well. And I can now see buy side delta there is 122 net positive. So he needs to get above 700, and he's definitely got to get above 25s. Because I'd say at 19s, we have 115 lot trapped, and then through 25s, we have room. Here we go. So we're testing 19s now, where that 115 lot is trapped. And once we get through that, we should break 20s and then get going. Here we go. Here they go. They should now get going. If they can get above this little node here. So if you haven't taken profit, you've got to take some, and then you're looking for 780s, we can call it. And then high of day, I would expect if we get to high of day, we're going to get 900s. Right? If we run high of day, there are imbalances up here. All the imbalances are up at 808s. All right, so we have buy side imbalances up here. So you can target some of that. But if we break this high of day, then this is my expected move up into that call wall and previous day high, because we didn't do that auction earlier and we should have done it and we didn't do it. So now they're trying to bid sevens and the teens to try and force this move higher. And they're rotating. So semiconductors lifting and software pulling back. It is funny how much they're rotating each day at the moment. Looks good to me so far for that lift, if you're still in it, as long as they're willing to hold the bid here versus sevens. If they can't hold the bid for here versus sevens, you want to be done. Certainly versus 80s. You don't want a new low under this. But if they can hold sevens and get back above this, you should lift. Here he comes. He's trying to walk in again. So there's sellers here. 25s all the way up to 62s. They're selling at the moment. You would just like a swipe up here to clean it all out. Just get rid of all that liquidity, and then you can move your stop up and you'd be a bit more comfortable, I would say. I'd have a wish order up here and up here and up here just in case something happens. Here they go. They're trying again. So another absorption. Here's the 25s again. They need to break through this 25s. This is where the buyer is stuck. Here they go. They break 25. They failed again at 25s. You can see that buyer is continuing to be stuck there. They will not let him out there yet. 25s back down to 7s. If they lose 7s, they go back down to 80s. You'd really want them, if I was a buyer on this, I'd really want them to hold 7s and lift through 25s, because the danger is they lose 27s, they come to 80s, they lose 80s, they go 50s real quick in this market. And we're starting to rotate. So software being sold fairly aggressively off that 50-day. Lost the VWAP there on software. And we're stuck at the 220s here on the semiconductors. All right, folks, you're stuck at 220s on the semiconductors at the moment. And they might need to pull back to PDC here for a reload. They've already done that once. Now, if they lose PDC again, it's going to be a problem. At the moment, it looks all right. But I'm more willing to be a buyer right down here at the moment. I missed it. So I'm going to wait for this to come back in and see if they want to hold. So I don't want to be bidding on this grey box. Can you see footprint in this level? Yeah, but there's not a whole lot to see right now, mate. A big buyer here getting caught again, buyers here, and a seller's down here. It's just a range. There's not a whole lot to look at right now. Be better off watching tick by tick at the moment. We go back down to the 80s. Now, if they lose 80s, they're going to come 50s and 40s pretty quick. And if they lose that, they're going to come 600. So they've got to reclaim 7s here, and soon. ES back to VWAP. VWAPs for the day are flat right now, which is also not a good sign. Software continuing to be weak. Software looks really poor here. Piss poor. Piss poor over on IGV right now. All right, so watch this. That looks terrible. Semi's in recovery mode, but they need to build out liquidity here if they're truly going to lift. And equal weighted mag coming back in a bit as well. All right, so rotation, 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 rotation. That's all we're seeing. Sector to sector, even within sectors. Right, beginning of the day, if you looked at IMU, INTC, TXN, NVIDIA, AMD, they were not aligned. All right, back to 7s again. How do you see a short, and why are you not considering it? Why do I want to be short here? Why do I want to be short here at the moment? We're not, for me, Rock, for me, we're trading at fair value from previous week. Now, okay, they might offer that. That's not an. I want to be here, bidding somewhere like this, or selling somewhere like this. Right, extreme levels. I don't want to be playing. This is not an extreme level. This is not. I know we failed here earlier, but we wanted to get up here and fail. We wanted to buy up here. We wanted to buy this and then buy this for this move. This is a take profit area. It's not a sell zone. Sevens again. If they get through this thing, they go 720s. 720s coming up. I was perking my interest a little bit there. 15s. Software trying to catch a higher low bid. 25s is the break here. Through 25s you go. So 25s to 700s the rotation, just like we did earlier. Nice bid on ES off VWAP, so that's refreshed nicely. Semis look good here at 220. So 220 break should get you high of day on semis. I think this is very close to squeezing out here. I think this is very close to squeezing out and getting you up here now. They faffed here a bit. If semis start going through the 220s here, you're going to get the break. Here we go. It's on like Donkey Kong now. If you can get through previous weak point of control, this thing should really start attacking higher for you. So through here, your targets are 780s and then high of day and 900s. So if you're still long, you've just hit previous week point of control. This is a take profit. This is a take profit. And this is a take profit. So your TPs are here, here, and I'd say here. You could take profit high of day, but I think if you get through this, and you take this guy out, you should come up here at that point. And they're selling at the highs here, and that makes me think we're going higher. I think you're going higher, folks. I think you look good. You're going higher here. Really nice. Here's 750s. You're looking for 780s here, and then you're looking for high of day. So they're trying to bid 25s now. You need this to just hold this bid. There is a big buyer up here at the high 65 lot. You want this to hold that breakout zone. So 25s, they're trying to bid 25s. You need it to hold it. You don't want this to flop right the way back down like this. This is not what you would want to see. This needs to hold this level right back into 700. So you need a recovery of 25 and quickly for a push back up. There you go. Right now they've got to hold this bid at 25. So if they're going to trap, they've got to hold 25 for you and then extend higher through 780 now. Semi's very close to higher day. Once that breaks higher day, this thing will, if and when it breaks higher day on semis, this thing should run. Little zero print up there at the high. Come on. Can you complete the auction for the team here, please? Be nice if you would. Be nice if they'd come up here for you. What I will say is there are some imbalances. I'm just going to measure this out. 807, 824, 820. 4 to 807. I'd respect this zone. Be careful if you get up into that. How do you get volume profile on the right hand side? You anchor it. You use an anchored volume profile. Still seeing absorption here at 700s right now. There's still a buyer at 700. There is still a buyer at 700 at the moment. Semi's failing that high of day for the first test. So again, this is what's causing this. We're watching this. All right, failing in front of high day. There's the 220s. We've had 3 drives here. You need to be careful here. If they go backside on semis under this, the whole thing collapses. Right, semis have to hold this range to complete this move. If they don't, it's going to be a problem. It's a good bid of flow zones there. But you need to see a break, and it needs to come soon on semiconductors. A loss of this level here, and certainly of this, a game over for the market. Because this is where the strength's coming from in the market right now. Oh, shit. Don't move that. And I'll do some of these for you. There's a guy up here who's a little bit caught. He's in this candle, and there's another one over here. And another one. Yeah, right, you're starting to lose that range a bit. Use anchor volume profile on the candle. Yeah. Yes, exactly. 9:30 a.m. Exactly. Market don't care about the team. I mean, it keeps getting stuck. You hit TPs already. Like I said, like hopefully it gets up there for you. But your bid, right, was here. Right, I said to you, don't bid in here. Your bid's here. Hopefully it completes this move for you. But either way, you've made really good money on that move there. Or even if you bid this part. You don't bid the grey box. I did say that. Do not bid the grey box. Right? It's not the place that you want to take any position in at all. It's fair value. There's no edge bidding on fair value from the previous week. Hopefully they complete the move higher. If they don't, they don't, but you've made your money. Real strength comes above 900 in this market. How are we doing on the likes here, folks? Piss poor again. You know the deal. No giveaways, no prop firm giveaways till you get to 1,200 likes, team. That's the deal. I've seen some of you have emailed, so I'm just going through my inbox here. I'll get back to you as soon as we finish the stream today. All right, 22s again, or 20s. So 700 to 20s, still the same level. They're still looking for a lift higher here. SOXL's trying again here. It is trying. This is the target. I still think 990. So 780s and 890. Sorry, those are still the targets, but you've locked in profit already. It just depends whether this goes for you. Still think that's the target right now. Do I swing trade small caps? No. That's a lie. There's one position I have in a small cap long right now, but I don't swing trade small caps as a rule. But there is one that I'm in. I'm not going to say it on here, but it is in Discord. If you're in Discord, you'll be able to find it. Am I up on it? Let's have a look. Let's come back in a bit, but I'm still up on it. All right, still trapped at previous week point of control. They still can't find acceptance over this red line. And they cannot find acceptance over that red line at the moment. They're starting to get caught up here. Semis failing 220s again. So rotation taking place, probably from node to node at some point. Alex newsletter 750 level. Yep, that's it. That's it. We're there. We keep tapping on it. That's exactly where we are. It's a big level. Grey box of doom. This is why we don't bid or do anything in a grey box. Above or below, we can think about it. But in the grey box, it's a chop zone. The grey boxes are always zones that I try and avoid. Vad says, is anyone else's Tradeify not working? Anyone else having issues with Tradeify? You have it labeled as grey box of doom. That's good. It's a good label. Down we come. Back down to previous day value area high again. And if they lose this, they're going to revisit 27s. And if they lose that, they're going to revisit VWAP and VPOC, which is 600s. And there's a zero print down there. And if they lose that, they're going to go 550s. Really, you'd want buyers to step in. If you're looking for higher prices today, you want to see buyers step in here and do this move here. Right? If they start losing this, it's a giant two-leg, failing previous week point of control again. If we fail previous day value high, we are liable for a rotation again. So if they start failing this zone, they become liable for this again. Why? Because we're in a rotation. Why? Because we're in see money, take money environment. Tradeify is having data issues. Okay, lots of people saying, just so you're aware, there are some data issues at Tradeify at the moment. So if you're trading them with them, be careful. Do I trade with Tradeify or Rhythmic? I trade with Tradeify for data. Okay, they're still trying to hold previous day value area high for now. Still building out liquidity on the semiconductors. Software doesn't look particularly great. It's trying to put in a 5-minute higher low versus that pullback that happened at 10 a.m. this morning. But if they start losing that, the wedge starts to be explored downside and it would be a problem. Back to the 700s again here. So sellers now are trying to defend 700s. Buyers are trying to bid this low volume node that we just talked about. Buyers would like to bid the low volume node, reclaim 700, push through 720, push through 740 to get that breakout up to the high. Sellers are saying, no, you're not coming back over last week's point of control. How do I add to my position on Tradeify? I don't trade with Tradeify, so I couldn't tell you. But the same as you would with anything else, you buy on pullbacks, sell on pullbacks. Right, 700 reclaims, so here they go for 720s. So back into the chop again, 700 to 720s again becomes the rotation here. Semis held PDC, they've got to get through the 220 break though. And it's going to get very tight in here. Tight. You can see this fat node being developed here. No acceptance underneath, no acceptance above it. So this here, they are struggling to find acceptance above or below this at the moment. Surprise, surprise. Someone will win. You won't be here forever. So they're going back to 720s. They're going to test this guy at 720s. Now, if they base above 720s, they're going to go for 740s. If they get through 740s, you're going to get the 780s and then the 900 push. All right, so this is important now. So back towards the 20s. They're trying. They are desperately trying. Pullbacks need to hold 700 now for them to convince anyone that this is available. Point of control is now shifted up here as well, just to make it trebly hard. Sellers are stacked all the way up to 62s, but then we've got room through 62s to 800, which is where I think we're trying to get up here. And remember, I thought I drew a box on here. Did I delete it? There are imbalances. Fucking hell, Alex. I'll measure these out again. Imbalances, 25s basically to 805s, right? 25s to 805s, somewhere in here, right? There's some sell side imbalances. So you might get a reaction in this area here. So they're trying to get this, and then if you rip through that, you're going to get that. So if you're still long, if you've managed to hold on, you might want to respect a little piece of this. Seller at this high, I don't think he's going to get his way. I think now if pullbacks hold 720s, you will lift. What are semis doing? Semis are going for the break as well. So if pullbacks hold 720s, you should lift here. They shouldn't fanny around anymore. If buyers are going to have their way, they've built out a lot of liquidity here. They should hold the edge of this 720s and lift. You would not want it under 720s. At the moment, there's a seller who just came in at 34s. If you can use his pain to lift higher, then you've got that run up towards 800s. Right, this run here. Lots of sellers here. It's passive selling on the book here from 37s to 60s. You just want them cleared out. They're trying to clear them out now. There's 37 cleared. Can they clear out 50 to 60? I'm going to just zoom this in a little bit so I can see if someone reloads here. They are trying to get you this break here. They're trying to get you up to 780s. Here they go. There's 50s. There's 50 fills. Right, they've got liquidity. They're lifting liquidity. This is going to go. They're lifting now. This should go. They should really be aggressive with this and let it just fly. Right, so this is your TP area. So 80s, and there's imbalances here. And then through that, up here. So your final sell points today are basically 900 to 950. That's your final sell points. Now, if we start basing above 950, then we can talk about exploration higher. But at the moment, we're in a range, so we're going to expect it to fail up here. Here you go. So here's the 80s. So please pay yourself some here into 80s. I'm sorry that they took so long to wiggle this around. It's what they did. There's an imbalance here. All right, so pay yourself into 80s. There's a little bit of a buyer caught at 97s, and this is the imbalance that I think they're going to try and reprice, right, from earlier in the day. Now that imbalance, like I said, is basically 804s to 824s, and there is a buyer stuck at 800. So expect Potential failure at 804s to 824s. SOXL, new high of day. All right, so that can go up for 230s now, which will help this squeeze up for you guys. So at 800, you got to get through this buyer at 800, then you can attack higher. Remember, into the imbalance here, this zone here is where you want to be paying yourself if you haven't already. I wouldn't pay myself high of day. I'd pay myself some in front of high of day. If we break high of day, you're going to come up to this next zone. I'm going to clean this out now. You're seeing this break now that we talked about. So it looks very, very, very good. All right, so there is the start of the imbalance. 804s, right? 804s, right? We're there or thereabouts. You were one tick away, 1 point away. I'll show you. There's imbalances here to fill these red lines. It's what they're trying to fill, right? This is where the buyers got caught earlier. So I'd be taking some profit here, all right? And I wouldn't be taking profit at high day. I'd take my profit here, where you are now. And then if we break high of day, I think we're going to come further up. I'd lock in most of it here and then just see if it's willing to give you more than that. Big W, nice work. Shigs, good work. All right, now you want this bid, right, to hold basically this LBS zone. So all this work that you've done here, this building of liquidity, where sellers can't find an auction under here, you now want to hold the top of this. All right, so if you're long from here or for any reason you took this, because I told you I thought it was a high probability squeeze, right, then it's not an area I would trade, but you would need this to hold this now to complete this move. Remember, you're coming into the targets, right? But you would not want this to come under, where does that sell? That's 735s. You do not want it under 735s, all right? It's very, very simple. Lose 735s, be done with it. Alex, I'm wearing Star Trek's captain shirt. What do you mean? This? Or is that a reference to how we're trading? I don't know what you mean. Do they wear green? I'm not a Trekkie. This is just a G-Star. See, I think we're trading this pretty well because I think I'm not giving you these big targets that we've had the day before. I'm telling you, like, lock in, locks them in, locks them in, locks them in. Shifted my mentality completely. Again, why are we doing this? I really want you guys to just be focused. Why is this happening? Where has the strength suddenly come from? Bang! All right, look at that. What do we say? This has got to build out liquidity. It must not lose here. Do you remember, like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago I said we must not lose this. This they puke. Otherwise, they build out liquidity here. They try and run high of day, and then they can try and get going. There's the run of high of day, right? So that's why you've locked some profit in. Now, if we come down here and we lose this, be a fail break, whole thing will melt back down. But that's not what we're seeing at the moment. What we're seeing is potentially a bid from here to keep going up, and that's the semiconductors. Now, if we move out of semiconductors and we go to software, what are we seeing? Weakness. All right, so this was the interesting thing. This IGV was a gap up. Semiconductors was a gap down. IGV pushed, failed back in, found a higher low, pushed, failed, lower high. Look what we're doing. All right, rotation out of this into what? All right, into semiconductor land, into Mag 7 land. All right, beautiful. Mag being rebid again. Great. Great. This is, I would rather, if I'm bullish, I'd rather see semiconductors and Mag push up. Much better than seeing software. It's a much more convincing long for me. Why? Because software's been weak since March. But what do I know? Just a 41-year-old guy that wears sunglasses on YouTube who has no fucking idea what he's doing. Why would you listen to me when you could go and listen to a 16-year-old circle-jerking, Labubu wearing, Reaper playing unicorn rider? You got so close to these imbalances up here, eh? Very close. This buyer here is still stuck. He's still stuck. So like I said, if you lose 30s, 35s, Be done with it. I would not want this to lose 35s. If I, you can see, I don't have a position. If I lost 35s here, I'd be finished with it. Alex, did you go to what? What do you mean? What did I go to? Captain Kirk. I wish I was a Trekkie. I've never like. I don't wish I was a Trekkie, but I don't know what you guys mean because I've never watched it. All right, you're testing this seller. Remember I just said you don't want to lose this seller. All right, you need this guy to stay in pain. You just had a big buyer coming in here. It's not what you want to see. This guy has to stay in pain. This guy right here. All right, you need him to stay in pain. It's possible that they do nasty, that they come to 1920 and then reclaim it, but you must. For me, this player has to stay in pain, which is what you've seen. See how you protected 35s, right? The market's saying, "Hey, let's leave this seller in pain. Let's make him stop out." That's what you've just seen in that pullback. That's why I said 35s. It's the exact reason I said it. Very accurate. I give you accurate read. It's not because I'm super intelligent. It's because I understand who's trapped, right? Because if you were little in fair value gap player, you would have just got long in there and would have just got stopped out when the reason was that we had to play against the seller, right? So Alex, as soon as I get my payout, I'm going to buy a unicorn Labubu. Don't get a Labubu. At least get a Lafufu. The best South Park episode. Lafufu. I want a Lafufu. Everyone's like, Alex has lost his fucking mind. You're not wrong, folks. I have. I've gone fucking insane. Lafufu. It looks good. You look good here. Hopefully, all right, you're coming to value area high again. If you haven't locked in any money, you've got to pay yourself, all right? We are not in a trending market. I cannot say it loud enough. You have to pay yourself money. See money, take money, then hold some, hoping, all right, that we continue to deliver up into the imbalances above. But you have to respect where we are, right? We are in value. We are inside. Let me just do this. Make it really obvious for you. This is previous week's value. This is, where's previous day? Previous day's value. And this is current day's value. All right. So we're trying to migrate over previous day to previous week, right? Because we held previous week. This is a clear hold of previous week lows, right? Then we've reclaimed previous day. Now we're through previous day. We're trying to migrate through current day up to here. That's clearly what they're trying to do. They want to test this. This is where we tried to test earlier. So they're coming back for it at the moment, right? And then I'd expect us to probably fail up there. We might not. We might just keep squeezing all day. You never know. But I'd expect some form of failure up here because it's also the cool wall, right? So options traders are in agreement right now. They're saying, hey, we've held the high volume level for GEX. And we're coming back for Cool Wall 1, which is also previous week value area high. All right. Right, so you've just started filling or getting close to filling those imbalances, like we said. 804s up to 823s is the imbalances overhead. Guys, do Apex payout? There's mixed reviews on Trustpilot. Mate, Apex payout. All right, Apex payout. If you stick to the rules, Apex payout. All right. I'm someone who 2 years ago when they went through all the bullshit, didn't get paid out. Some really big stuff. I was very upset. Telling you now, Apex payout. You just got to do what they say to do. You have to stick to the rules. They've made the rules even more simple with the I don't know, Apex 3.0 or whatever it's called. They're the simplest, easiest rules ever now. They do pay out though. Even, I'm not going to say his name. There's a guy on my Discord who was having some issues getting paid by them. It was a bug in their system. I spoke to Apex. He took, I think it was about $40,000 out of them, and that would have been about a month ago now. So they do. And it's much better than it used to be. Do you know how fast Lucid payout is? Yes, I've got videos on it showing it. I've been paid in 90 seconds before. 90 seconds. From hitting pay me to it hitting my bank. 90 seconds. Insane. I don't trade with Alpha, so I couldn't tell you, mate. I see a lot of people talking about them, but I've never traded with them. I don't want to offer you advice without knowing. From what I've seen other people, apparently they're good, but I can't comment personally because I've never traded with them, so I wouldn't want to give you bad advice. Don't trade with FTMO either, so I can't tell you. If I can get 1,500 more today, I can take my first Lucid payout. Tony, I would stop pushing for that, mate. I'm telling you now, the fact that you've said that has me worried. Don't focus on the P&L, right? You should just focus on the trade setups in front of you. Because if you focus on trying to make that money, I would bank there's 90% more chance that you lose that account than hit that payout if that's how you're going to trade it. But if you relax and you focus on the setups, I would guarantee by the end of the week, you'll get paid. Trade day, good? Yeah, trade day, great. Anyone in the links down below, guys, I trade with, right? So you can use code FZT for trade day, for Lucid, for Tradeify. Here it goes. Here are the imbalances being filled. This is the start of the imbalances. 804s, remember, all the way up to 24s. So you want to be paying yourself from 804 to 24s. And then after that, I think you will go 890. And then what's previous week value area high? 890 and 945s, basically. So once you get through 20s, the 24s, then I think you rip up here. All right, so this would, I'd be paying myself, like I said, imbalances into 24s, 804s to 24s. I'll come back to the prop firm. Sorry, I just want to make sure you guys are set here. Right, this is your TP range. I'm going to do it as orange just so you know it's an imbalance. This is your TP range. This is where sellers are waiting. If you find it, so this is where I'd be paying myself most of it. And if you find acceptance through this, this is where you're looking for. All right. Sorry, I'll go back to it. So yes, code FZT, 90% off right now on Apex. I think up to 50% off on Lucid if they're new accounts for you. Otherwise, 40% off. 35% off on Tradeify right now. I don't know what the sale is on trade day at the moment, but also code FZT. You can use Take Profit Trader, which is one of my personal favorites. A bit harder to get payouts from to get through the buffer, but same day payouts, insane. I've taken big chunks out of them this month. Use code FlowZone over there, 40% off, no activation fee. And also there's a sale on right now for Funded Next, which is another really easy one to get paid from. Oh, I'm due a payout from them today. Thank you for reminding me. Almost forgot there, folks. Had to wait till today, so I can show you my Funded Next accounts. I've got 2 at the moment, and this one's due a payout. This would mean my 3rd payout. There we go. So do a nice fat payout from that. So I'll take a couple grand out of that tonight as well. Almost forgot I had it. Payday. I don't know who Payday is. My Funded Future as well. Yeah, it's another great one. Code FZT there as well. All right, so you can see you're into this imbalance. And if you find acceptance, hopefully you get all the way up here. And guess why we are breaking out? Where is the strength coming from? Let's have a look at the equated mag. Is it from there? No, it's not from the mag. I wonder where it's going to be from. Oh my God, there it is. Oh, no way. Semiconductors rule the world, do they? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. No way, Jose. All right, imbalances now done. They are filled pretty much. You've maybe got a tick or 2 more up here. But they are filled. All right, so if I pull you over to this screen, you see these red lines are kind of hard to see. We filled the imbalances. Now I'd say you need to hold a print at 98s now. If you hold the 98 prints, maybe you can move higher, but you're into value area high. Like I said, I would be selling most of my profits in here. And then if you get very lucky, you get the call wall and the full rotation of previous week's value. But these imbalances are important. Do I recommend trade the pool for swing trading? Yes. I mean, I don't use them. I swing trade my own accounts, but yes, they're good. What chart is that? It's Spectra. It's my Spectra indicator, which you can get on my website for NinjaTrader. Alex, you're the first trader you saw talking about SOXL drive in the NQ, and now everyone else is finally talking about it. Well, it's because, you know, all good traders were watching it. Right? Anyone who's been around the block long enough, but anyone who's like probably, I don't even want to say it. Anyone else is probably jumping on a bandwagon, and then, you know, they wouldn't be able to tell you what the VIX is. They wouldn't be able to tell you, you know, what the different areas of rotation are. They wouldn't even be able to tell you like the basics of like the divergence they were seeing, that there's a debt crisis which is potentially going to show its hand. They wouldn't be able to tell you about any of that stuff. The clusters, which we had some of the biggest clusters ever in history last week on some of the triple leveraged ETFs. We found a bid last week on biotech for the first time in a while. They wouldn't be able to tell you this because they don't actually study the market. What they do is believe a make-believe lot of bullshit and then regurgitate it, unfortunately. It's not their fault. It's always been the way, mate. Unfortunately, it's always been the way that there's some charlatan talking shit. Leverage ETA stuff suffer from decay. They do, yes. It's why you don't want to swing for too long a period on it. They do. They're correlated to the options market, absolutely. 500 lot buyer showed up on the S, did he really? At the highs, if it's at the highs, it's a big warning shot. Okay, software looking not very good here, folks. Software not looking very good here. Look at the reaction in that imbalance. I wonder if that imbalance was a fair value. Oh, no, it wasn't. No way. It wasn't. God, how did he find it? You don't need volume profile. You don't need blah, blah, blah. You just need unicorns. What is wrong with these fucking people, man? What is wrong with these people? I want to see one of these guys go for a job at like Citadel or Morgan Stanley and walk in and they're like, do you have trading experience? Yeah. What's your trading method? I get a unicorn and then I look for a confirmation with it infers fair value gap on a 15-minute, and then on a 1 minute I take a fair value gap and then I go long. Get out. Oh god. Hadouken. Oh man. Has anyone read the New Market Wizards yet? It's on my list to do this week. It's the only edition I've not read. I've listened to all the pods on it, but I just haven't had time. Alex is on a crazy Monday. You know what? Alex had a few beers last night. Alex had a few beers. He had a few cocktails. He had an Aperol Spritz. He had some wine. He had white wine. He had red wine. Alex caught up with a friend he's not seen for 5 or 6 years. That's probably why. What pods did I listen to? I was doing a chat with traders this weekend. It's so much better. So much better now they've got a new host. Sorry. If the old hosts are listening, I'm sorry. I didn't enjoy you. Once Aaron left, it was dog shit. The guest with dog shit as well. But the new host is really good. You're on the limoncello spritz. Nice. Canadian friends watching the soccer together. Yeah, I had a lot of friends there yesterday. In fact, I had English friends over who managed to get tickets who went. Oh, I was buzzing. I've got a lot of Canadian friends here. I was absolutely buzzing for them. My friend took his kid for his first game ever. What an amazing thing to be at. Fantastic. Thoughts on England World Cup games? I think we've been piss poor. Hopefully we get through the next round in Atlanta, and then I'll be going to Mexico. I did get a new jersey at the weekend. I'll bring this in. I got this, hoping that we'll go to Mexico. I got this at the weekend, the new Palace England kit, the collab. So I'll be wearing that. We better go to Mexico because I bought it just for that. So we better fucking make it. I was going to piss off. Yeah, it's a cool jersey. I like it. With George on it. All right, if we get through this, like I said, if we get through this, we will swipe the highs and we should then come up to this and this. These are your final targets up here. So if you're long from down here, or if you held the long that I took, God, fuck me, Alex. I mean, you got long here. All this money you've left on the table today, incredible, but it's okay. I'm in the see money, take money headspace right now. Up here are final targets, right? So once you swipe initial balance, I expect you to hit some of these up here. If the US plays England, who do I cheer for? Who do you think? I tell you the chance I won't be doing. It's called soccer. No. No. That ain't me, mate. I believe that we will win. Shut up. Shut up. I like the Jeffrey Epstein chart for USA that the English have been doing. Oh, God. I don't know if any of you have seen that. Class. I see David Bentley started it in a pub. I was just like, I love that. It's not our fault. It's what the schools taught us. Well, I'd argue that's the same problem with everything in America, right? It's what the schools teach you. All right, hopefully you get all the way up here. I really hope this pushes for you guys. Yeah, shut up, blood. Shut your mouth. I heard the Scots are emptying the pubs with their beer, except they won't touch Bud Light. Well, the Scots have gone home already, mate. They're done. Their World Cup's over, unfortunately, for them. Tyson trade back in. I would, if you're going to take the Tyson trade, I wouldn't be looking to fade in front of it. All right, I'd wait for it to clear out and give one of these back down, because at the moment, I think there's a high probability that we come and swipe, and then once it's finished swiping, maybe. But remember, we want to trade extremes in these markets, and the extremes are up here and noted. Right, so I think the market's going to try. I don't know if it will be able to. It's going to try and drift higher. ES has relative weakness here. It's failing in the push up. Correlation SPY doing the same, so they're in alignment. QQQ has a double top, so I think QQQ is liable to swipe here as well. Semiconductors continue to push. I think they're looking for 230s like I talked about for previous day high up there. Pre-market high we're coming into at the moment, so 227.43s or 227.40s. Break of that, then I think you get 230s on the Soxal. VIX continuing to get crushed to the downside, so that's good for lifts if ES can actually find a bid today. Let's have a look at the sectors. Haven't had a look today. All right, so we're seeing weakness in ESY because healthcare and energy look pretty weak today. Look at the healthcare sector getting a little bit crushed. We're finding a bid in communication. And look, it's basically just the MAG. The MAG's where the bids come from today. All right, here. Tesla, Amazon, Meta, Google, NVIDIA. Look at this internal rotation within the semis. Interesting. But these down here, equipment and materials for semis, have all caught a bid. All caught a bid. Software down here doing okay. Microsoft dragging it down a little bit, as is Synopsys. But Palantir caught a bid today. Oh, that's a big. PNW, Palo Alto, worth looking at that. Crowd as well. So software relative strength in this market at the moment. Specific names within software anyway. All right, 5 minutes left till lunch. Can they complete this move and come up here for you guys is the big question. Pretty much the only question at the moment left. How are we doing on the likes? Are we there yet? We're still not at 1,200 likes, guys. This is piss poor. Only took one trade. I think I took a couple trades, actually. I think we scalped about 3 trades. I think we were long here for a couple of attempts and then break even on that, and then maybe short here and then long here and then took it off. I've missed that whole move. It's okay. I'm in scalp mode at the moment, so I'm just like, I will talk about it the weekend. 30 to 50 points in this market. If I get 100, great. I wasn't thinking we'd do this whole move, but there we go. Base hit mentality for me. All right, there's definitely buyer exhaustion and delta divergence up at these highs right now. Starting to see it show itself. I'm surprised they haven't come and cleaned out, but they might need to come down before they do it. There's definitely a level of exhaustion up around value area high for the session. I am somewhat surprised that they haven't cleared out. I think we will clear out. It's just depend. Do they need to do this, or can they just do this first and then offer that trade back in for the afternoon session? I don't know. I don't know what they're bloody doing. Try and sit with you for a moment. Here they come. They're going to try and clean out. Hopefully they clean all this out for you guys. They should be printing higher. There's lots of liquidity up at 850. There's a 280 lot seller up there. So he's trying to attract the market up, and that would be through the initial balance. And then I think you squeeze through that. You probably give a swipe, and then it might be done for the day for the upside. I would imagine. That's where my head would be, right? I would imagine we're going to try and swipe, run the stop here at 850. So you can see there's a 280 lot seller there. I would imagine he'll get filled. You get a spike up, and then once it's done, the upside shift, it's probably cooked for the day. And then we'll be looking probably for a rotation back downside again this afternoon. Once we swipe up here. All right, once they finish that swipe, we're probably going to look for that downside this afternoon, I would imagine. Yeah, 280 lot on the book, 850. He's trying to attract the price up there at the moment. Can they do it? ES looking good. VIX still lower day. So if ES starts going here, semis are getting going. Here you go. Here comes the swipe. There you go, folks. So there's your target. And if they fill 850, great. But we should come up to here. If we get through 850, you should. So have your offers up there right now to take profit, right? Because we should complete this move at this point. And once it's done, lock your profit in, walk away. That's a really good move. So there's a higher day swipe. I still think they've got room here to go again. Just watching the order flow. I can flip you over here so you can see it if you want. I think they're going to come and swipe this guy. This will be the stops. Here you go. They just swiped him. Right, that's That's exactly what I was talking about. And any bonus now, all right, will be up to 890 to 940, but you've just done the main move. How would I identify if you were looking for the failed auction up here? Well, you'd need this guy to be the high or someone like him. So you got a 377 lot buyer, and you'd need to build out liquidity here and then move under and stay heavy. You're not seeing that yet, right? So like what we're seeing is a attempt to move up to 890. Can you see this on the book here? All right, 890. Right now, what's that confluence for? Oh, it's previous day high, and it's the big cool wall, which we've talked about all day. This is where they want to go. And if they really want up here, remember our targets were through here to get to here and here. Yeah? This is where they're trying to go. Now, options dealers probably be done here or hereabouts. Value players want a test of this. This was the move we were looking for this morning, right? This is how we complete the auction. Then we came down to the bottom side of value. We're just rotating. Let this sink in. We're rotating the whole of previous week's value in one session here. All right, fail, fail, previous week value area low, previous week value area high. You see how we are rotating. All right, so my anticipation will be somewhere up here. I would imagine you're going to then see something like this, or down to here maybe, and then sideways for ages and ages and ages. But I still think you've got more upside in this into lunch. We're into lunch now, so hopefully they can keep lifting for you coming up into here. You're getting close. You've hit most of your targets. It's just whether you get this and this now. Oi. You want to learn more about options thoughts? Probably a good idea. I'm doing the same at the moment. I'm not an options trader, but I am learning about it. I use them for trading, but I don't buy zero DTEs and stuff like that. But I do want to get into it more because I think there's edge in this market to do it, especially if we're going to go into a range. SOXL on a run? Yeah, like I said, where does SOXL want to come? We talked about it all day. Right, where's it coming? What are the targets? There they are. Previous day high, so we're through pre-market high now. Remember we said if we get through this pre-market high, there's pre-market high break. 230 is an absolute GEX level 2, and then up here, previous day high. Now, if they get through previous day high, there's a ginormous squeeze all the way up here if they're really going to send it. Remember, I'd be like surprised if they do it in one move. I would say we'll probably extend up here. Something like this, and then probably come back down here and then see what they want to do in here. And then maybe if they really want to do that tomorrow, they can. I don't think we're going to see this today. You never know. Maybe there's a shift in news and they just send it, but I think this is where we're trying to come. You're almost there. You're almost there. It's a coming. It's a coming. Hey, it's me, Mario. It's a coming. So you want 850 to hold here because there's a big 300 lot buy who came in there. QQQ wants 720 as well. So QQQ's gunning for its gammon level as well. Cool will 1. So everything's in alignment here. I think you're going to get a big take profit coming soon. Same in spiders. High of day is their cool will 1 on spiders. VIX back down to its 50-day here. It's losing the bid. VIX getting absolutely crushed today. I'll tell you what, we're starting to go into a bit of compression on software now. If software can go sideways for a bit and start breaking back above 90.18, and we go into a pro trend where mags bid up, semis continue to be bid up, and software reclaims and bids up, that's when this market can really start screaming. Where do I get my GEX levels from? I get them from Tanuki. I'll post it in chat because we've just done a deal with him. I will do a video this week on it, or I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. You should get a little bit of money off with this and code FZT. I just posted it for you. Here it comes. I'm just trying to stay with you here until you hit that target, and then I can get off the screens for the day. I said another one for the GEX levels. No, someone asked how they can put it on NinjaTrader, and the platform that I know that provides GEX levels for NinjaTrader that you'd have to pay for is Menthor Q. Tanuki is great for TradingView, which is what I use. Menthor Q. If I looked at expected moves stuff, yeah, I have it up on a side monitor. I check it in the morning. It's pretty useful. It's pretty useful. Right here. A bit here. They're saying 890. 890. Still holding this 850. So remember, big buyer talked about, came in here 850, so 300 lot. That was the guy to get you through that passive seller. You'd want that to hold really. If you lose 850, we're going to come straight down here into value. All right, because we're a bit frothy up here. This is what I'm saying. You shouldn't be buying up here. You should just be locking in profits, trying to see if they can continue to complete this move. Right, like I said, these are your final targets. If you get through this, these are your final targets. Right, that's the imbalance. You've got through it. You're trying to get up here. I'm going to remove this imbalance now as well. Oh, let's get rid of you, Tanuki. There we go. And you know what? We'll do one of these for you guys, because this is quite a big player up here. What's his level? 50 on the dot, right? There you go. You're still on the front side of this trade. Well, from a buy point of view, lower time frame, yes, you're still front side of the trade, right? There's no backside yet, is there? We don't have a buyer caught at high of day. We're not seeing failures. We're not leaving a shelf. We're not rejecting, right? We're not seeing that. But we are into areas where we are likely to fail unless they're going to really turn it on. Why? Remember what we're seeing on the hourly. Where did we get stuck? Where's the chop? And here. And here. All right, so we don't expect market to necessarily get above this. We expect market to probably chop here. All right, this morning we failed, held value, came straight back up. We're gunning. We're trying to rotate the whole of previous week's value in one day. That's what we're trying to do. We failed. We held the low. We're trying to come right back up to here. We expect that to fail. Maybe a look above and fail back down. If they want to come into here, they will. In fact, I will put this on here so I remember this is here. Okay, so a bull trap for me would live in here, right? So if they spike up and then fail, I think they're going to rotate to here, and you never know, maybe all the way back down here again. If they start bidding above, this is in the newsletter, if they start bidding above 900 and holding this, doing something like that, doesn't have to be today, tomorrow, Wednesday, whenever, that's quite a big sign of strength, guys. Right? That means we've rotated value and we're reclaiming. So we're not accepting lower prices and we're reclaiming. And then I'd be expecting pushes into these zones, right? Attempts to get back into here. And that's the island gap from last week. Right, so if I just zoom out here, it's really important you see this to make sense of it. Right, the participants who are stuck currently in this market are these guys, these buyers, and these buyers. And intraday today, sellers here. Right, so we know sellers cannot get follow through underneath previous week's value area low. That's become very apparent numerous times. It's been apparent Friday. It's been apparent Friday again. It's become apparent on Sunday, and it's become apparent today on Monday. So there's no acceptance under here. To date, all right, prior to this week, there's been no acceptance over here. So our expected move at the moment is from here to here. That's the range rotation that we're trying to play in. Like I said, when we're in there, for me, because I'm not great at trading range, I see money, I take it, right? As you would have seen numerous times today. I didn't get this full move because I'm not capable of trading it. It's just not in my skill book. I can see it, I just can't trade it. If we find acceptance above here, we can look for upside targets, but we better respect as we come into here, because this is where the buyers are stuck. Now, in here, I'd expect big failures, right, to retest this. And if they hold this again, we ping pong between this. Once we truly find acceptance above naked point of control from 2 weeks ago, then I think there's a chance to start shifting upside again, because if we zoom out of this, that would mean we've done this. In fact, let me clean this up so you can see the pathing really easy. Okay. It would mean we've done this. Failed. Undercut. Higher low. Held. Failed. Balanced. Held. Failed. Balanced. Failed to reclaim. Balanced. Island. Chop. Failed to make a new low. Failed to make a new high. Failed to make a new low. Failed to make a new high. Failed to make a new low. Failed again. Failed again. Right? Compression in here is very obvious. So if we hold above that and get back inside here, this looks good. Right? At least to test somewhere up here. If we can't do that, then somewhere in here, I'd expect that move there. And then we'll come and see if we want to test down here. This is your compression zone. This is a see money, take money. Outside of these zones, I get a little bit more excited. You're stuck on Apple. What do I think about Apple? That liquidity got me at 277. I mean, it's been on a colossal run, mate. It's just coming back into range. Right. Question is, does it base out above this? Breakout. 2-leg. Retest. Does it hold this to continue higher? Question mark. Remember, I'm long from down here somewhere. Right. Long term still looks good, as long as it can hold this. If we start losing this bid, then we're going to go into here. And that does not look good. Right, if we go into that, that does not look good for a revisit down. I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm thinking right now, are we willing to hold this bid here? Now, why has this happened? They came out this morning asking the government if they could buy the Chinese chips, which are banned. Why? Because these fucking idiots haven't got any orders in with Nvidia or anyone, and they're going to be low, and they're low on supply. There's high demand from the Mag 7 for the chip names, and these guys have left it too long. So what have they done because of that? Well, they've put their prices up. All right. So your MacBook Air and your iPhone prices are going up. What does that mean? Well, consumers are already broke. Right now, if we put interest rates up as well, then the loans to buy these things will also go up, which means consumers have even less money. That's why we priced that in last week. Everyone panicked a little bit. We'll just have to see how the dust settles on a lot of this stuff. Honestly, it's a sensitive area here. It matters. This matters now. But if they can hold it, we still look good for that. But I'm telling you, from now to September, October, in general, I'm concerned about the market just doing this. And then we'll see what earnings are like come September, right? We'll see what the earnings are like come September. More weakness in Apple leadership. I mean, look, they've just changed. There's big changes going on there at the moment. Okay, here it goes. This is what I'm trying to wait for. I'm just trying to see if you can get this before I leave and lunch. Still looks good. Look, held the IB, held the low volume nodes coming up. They're looking for that push. They're trying to get you that gamma level. It's going to go sideways in a 600-point swing. I think it's going to be higher than 600-point swing, mate. I mean, even if we go edge to edge, I think it's going to be over 1,000 points of sideways action. Like I said in that video I did, it's not too dissimilar to 2025. Right, if we go to a daily here. Right. 38% run or whatever it is, sideways, right? Go back to, I'm going to have to go to, sorry, folks. Roll over the contract. All right, same thing here. All right, monstrous run. Huge run. Undercut and then away. Huge run. Right, this can last a while. You see it both sides. Huge run. We see it downside as well. Huge run. Huge run. COVID run. And the interesting thing for me is where we fairly frequently peak out in terms of like the months. So if we think about this move here, we peaked out into October, but really we went sideways from like September to March, right? So here, we're not even at September yet. I think that next round of earnings is going to really, really, really matter. Did we just hit it, folks? I think we might have just hit it. Did we just hit the gamma? Yeah, there you go. All right, so that's your next TP tagged. You're a tick away. Don't be a dick for a tick, right? That's what I was waiting for, to try and get you to that level. Congrats, everyone. Pretty decent day. Pretty decent day. Big rotation. Rotating the whole of weekly. And that's what we expect in this market. We expect a big rotational market. We don't expect continuation trades. We expect rotation trades. Yeah, Jeremy, we're going to leave him alone. He hopefully he learned his lesson last week, eh? Hopefully he learned his lesson. Probably didn't, but hopefully he did. But we'll leave people like that alone now. How does the afternoon session in Discord work? Well, I normally step in there now, tell them what I'd be looking at lunch, and I go for a coffee break and walk my dog now, and then I come back in like an hour or so, and if there's something setting up that looks good, we trade it. If not, we try and leave it alone, and I will give guidance no matter what. Missed you by a tick? Well, don't be a dick for a tick, right? So that's the old saying, don't be a dick for a tick. If this can't reach up there now and fill you, I'd say get out. But there's still liquidity at 890, 900. They're still trying to fill higher. I still feel like there's a good chance for this to lift up there again. I'll give this 2 minutes here. And let's give this until 20 past. They're trying. If you make a lower high here, though, just let it go. Just be like, it's not going to do it. I would say right now, if you can't hold 65s, then get out, because there's your little shelf there developed. So if you can't hold 65s, get out. If you can hold these 65s now, as long as they hold 65s to, let's call it 62s, this little node here, and you're covering some at 890, and then your next target is 945, I'd take it off in front of 9045, and then I'd be done for the day. Yeah, SOXL did exactly what we talked about, right? Same level. Thank you for making me aware of that. Same level. Where did we say it would go to? There it is. Through this into previous day's high. Now, I would imagine there's some failures coming up here. So I'd imagine there's a look above and fail somewhere around here. If not, this is where it's trying to get to. That's a big ask today, but it would not surprise me to see something like this happen this afternoon. If it keeps basing and holding and a squeeze, then, maybe all the way up here, but I would imagine it's more likely to do something like that, come back in. Because we're in a range. That's the only reason I think that's more likely. It doesn't have to happen, it's more likely. .2 likes, are we? On my screen it says 1,000. Let me refresh it. No, 1.1. If you get me to 1,200 likes right now, we're doing Apex giveaway straight away. That's what I want to do, but we get 2,500 people come in here, they make their money, then they fuck off and they watch someone else, I guess. Can anyone pay to get in the Discord? You have to do the beginner to the advanced course. Right, here you go. There's your 890s. So they just held that node again. Let the node held again. So please, whoever it was that said they haven't paid themselves, 890s. And then if you get lucky, up here into 945. Do not expect higher prices than that. All right, I would say that's the edge of the range. That's our expected move. We don't think it's going to go higher than that. If you got very, 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 very lucky and they went turbo today, this is where they'd come. But I wouldn't count on it. I'd be expecting failures in here. I'd be expecting failures in here. If you got lucky, you get up there, but I wouldn't count on it. Just found me. What's my times? River, I start at 9:15 New York time every day, and I get off now. What prop firms would I suggest? Everyone that's down below. Everyone down below. Those are the prop firms that I take payouts from. If they're not on that list, I don't really suggest them. The red blocks you're referring to are cool walls. If so, where does that level come from? They're not cool walls, mate. It just happens that there's a cool wall right here. The red blocks are supply levels. They are clear areas of rejections. All right, so clear areas of breakdown and rejections. So on an hourly chart, where have we failed from? Time and time and time and time and time again. Where is the market telling you that it doesn't find acceptance? Okay, it cannot find acceptance here, can it? All right, here and here and here and here and here. This was a resistance level. It became support. We broke down through it. It became resistance. All right, where do we expect this to fail? Here. All right, same level. If we get through this level, what's the next feasible target? It would be up here, wouldn't it? Where buyers are caught, the island high. All right, that'd be the next feasible level if it can get through here. I would imagine a bull trap would live in here somewhere because that would be a first fresh retest. I'd imagine bulls would chase it and get dunked on, but at least back down to here. And then if they want to reclaim, so be it. That'd be the end of the week. But you know, this, all you have to do is look left. It's a clear area that the market cannot find acceptance. It's previous week's value area high. It's clear H1 rejection. It's SNR resistance, resistance, resistance. Becomes support, becomes resistance. Probably becomes resistance again. And then when we look at the cool walls, they are also there. What is also there? Previous day high. All right. So somewhere, we can move this up a bit to here. Somewhere in here, it's likely that we see failures. We can poke outside and get failed follow through. All right. The best trap would be something like that. Extension. All right. And nuke them. All right. Great. Again, context matters. Broader market matters. All these things matters. It's bringing everything together at once. But it's why once we saw the sellers trapped at the lows, I was bullish for this move up. And now you can see it's just very controlled. All right. This is a very controlled channel. We haven't really swept anyone at all yet because they want their target. And once they get their target, we'll probably come back down into here somewhere. All right. That's what I'd be looking for this afternoon. Something like this. Yeah. Something like this. We got the likes up, did we? Let me just refresh, make sure no porcupines here. All right, well done, team. All right, well, fair's fair, right? You know the score. Type FCT, just type it once in chat, and we'll give away a free Apex account here. So no reason to spam, guys. Just type it once. If you spam, it pulls you out. Just type it once. Okay, and your last target here, your final target here, for the day is 945. Now, if you got lucky, you get to 30,100, but I would really consider locking in all of your money at 945. It's been a squeeze up move. I wouldn't be expecting 30,100 today. And you should be down to tiny size anyway. You've hit all your targets. All right, let's pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tradisimo. Hey, Tradisimo. 9606. Tradisimo. Let me know you're here in chat, please, my friend. Nice. Okay, cool, man. Could I ask you, please, email me info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube so I know it's you, and I will sort you out a free Apex account, any type you want. Do that as soon as we finish stream, and I'll sort you out. All right. So info@flowzonetrader.com. Nice work, everyone. Great day. Nice way to start the week. Great work adapting to the new market conditions. Hopefully you've adapted. Did I go to Richmond College 23 years ago? No, I didn't. I never went to Richmond College. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Those in Discord, I'll be in straight after this. Peace and love, everyone. Please stop forcing this market up now at this point, just to leave you with what I'd be looking for the rest of the day. Right, my expectation would be that I'm more inclined to think we will see something like this, and if we lose this, a rotation down to this area or some form of trap and this. And if we don't see that and they base out here long enough and they hold this, then maybe you get that, but I really don't think that's going to come. I'm happy to be wrong, absolutely happy to be wrong, but I would imagine, remember the video we put out last night, what we want to do is trade the edges back inside, trade the edges back inside. That's the easiest move to play in a rotational market. But if they've caught enough and they want to come up here, they will. All right. Peace and love, everyone. I will see you tomorrow morning. Trade safe this afternoon and use hard stops. Who knows what's going to happen in this market? Can change at any point. Peace out.